Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are about to take on Super Grok 4 Heavy. This is going to be the thickest live stream to date. That's right, I have spent $300 this month just to use the most intelligent model in the world. So they say. Apparently it's supposed to be smarter than all these PhDs and all these people in the room. And what good about spending something all this money if it can't actually make money for us? And so that's going to be our goal today. And ladies and gentlemen, this live stream is about to be extreme. So the views and opinions expressed here and the stuff that you're about to see might be a little bit wild. So make sure you hide your kids, hide your Wi-Fis. And let's get cooking, fam, because this is about to be insanely crazy. We have Grok 4 in the building. And not only do we have Grok 4, we have the ultimate thick version here, super heavy. And this super heavy version here that's going to be here available for us is going to allow us to use this group of experts. And the claim here is that if we have these group of experts working for us, eventually they'll get to the answer eventually. And so what does that mean? And what does that mean for us is that like you can have this PhD level in all these different domains. And apparently it's supposed to find the right answer. So it's going to use every single resource it can on the web. If the answer is on the web, it will eventually find it. So we're going to be able to use that today. We have this $300 a month plan loaded up, live and ready for you right now. So I'm burning this cash and I want to thank all of my members who have been able to support me, because without you guys, I actually would not be able to get this plan loaded up right now immediately, and I'm doing this for you. So if you are a member right now, I want you to pop those prompts in. Some folks have already popped the prompts into the Discord as members, and so I'm going to be going through some of those. But feel free to pop your prompts in right here, and if you're a member, I'm going to get your stuff going. So we have some really fun stuff to take a look at. We're going to be using some MCPs. We're going to try to see if we can make some MCP servers off this. We're going to use all of the intelligence. We're going to use the intelligence of all the research in the world right now. Whoever's talking smack on Grok, we're going to go ahead and see if we can find them. we're going to call out everyone. So this is going to be a really wild live stream. And I don't know if I'm ready for this. And I might get canceled for this, but that's okay. So let's go. All right. So what do I want to know? I want to know what I don't know. Okay. So let's see. I just signed up for this $300 a month Super Grok Heavy plan, and I need to make $300 really fast. I want you to see if you can do some research for me and find some N8N workflows that people are talking about and are just having a really hard time configuring. And those, I think, are going to be our opportunities to make a lot of money here. I know vibe marketing is a really big deal right now, so I want you to search through all the different blog posts that people are talking about for this type of stuff and these different workflows. Our goal eventually is going to be to make an app using this type of thing, maybe an MCP server. So this is going to be leveraging you and your intelligence to help me find this. Hopefully, yes, let's go. Okay, cool. All right, so this is my really long prompt. We're just going to go in on this. We're not making a snake game here. If you thought you caught into this live stream just to watch me make a snake game, get out of here. This is not that live stream. We're about to get real with this. We're trying to see if we can make some money. All right, let's go ahead, hit the heavy, got the search enabled. We got the Grok 4 Heavy. I'm going to copy my prompt just in case. But check this out. We're going to do a couple of things. As an added bonus here, I'm going to also pop this into ChatGPT Pro because I have the O3 Pro account, and we're going to see how that compares to this at the same time, because this can actually cook for a little while. So while this is cooking, we're going to watch it do its thing. So right now, we could possibly be watching history as we completely take out somebody's complete startup that they got funded for like $1 million or a couple $1 million, right? This one prompt could basically knock them out of the park. So I think we're watching this right now. This is going to be so crazy, right? I really can't. Hold up. Eric just became a member. Let's go. Eric Provencher. If you haven't really watched the live stream yesterday, talking about repo prompt, that's the prompt. That's the one you got to watch right now. Holy smokes. This is about to get crazy. So what we're doing right now is we're running Grok 4 is actually running multiple agents in parallel for us. And we're using up all of those GPUs on that cluster. And that $300 a month is going towards that basically. and we're cooking, and like you see its progress, and they're going to do this little comparison. And I think what Elon Boy was talking about was basically saying that these guys are going to basically, it's like a little camp. Everyone goes out on their little hikes, they find answers, they come back, they talk to each other, and then someone's going to find the right answer, and then they kind of keep moving on and improving from there. So let's go ahead and go to ChatGPT Pro, and then let's go ahead and pop this into the O3, if you know what I mean, but not the O3 regular. We're going to go fancy, and we're going to go super expensive, because that's all we do here. We ball out $200 a month. All right. And then we're going to compare the two to see who cooks, who's really going to cook here. All right. So this is going to be doing its thing in parallel. I apologize for the flashbang here. I know that some folks are in the dark mode. It's bright daylight here in California, but I'm going to see if I can actually modify this to make this a little more visually friendly. So that way, y'all don't get hit with the light and the dark, back and forth. I know somebody was talking about that. And so not everything's adjusted, but I think I fixed it here. So let's go ahead and go back here. All right, we're here. Cool. Awesome. Let me go ahead and see if I can make the font a little bit bigger so y'all can read this. And we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing here with ChatGPT. And then we have Grok Heavy cooking as well. So yeah, take 1,000 and make $300 trading today using Grok Heavy to pay for the 300. Charlie Minter, you crazy. I think that could be interesting, but I think what could be more interesting is to see if I can actually have it look at trends for me. So let's go ahead and see if I can do that. I'm going to go to grok.com and then open up a new window. We're just going to keep cooking with this whole thing. So we have Grok Heavy. We have the web search enabled. I'm going to say, I want you to take a look at the stock market right now and take a look at all the different trends that are happening. I want you to do a cross-reference and take a look at the relative rotation. And I want you to find some outliers in the stock market that haven't really caught up to the rotation. And the goal here is to see which actual tickers are currently underpriced, but people are probably talking about it, and then they may soon catch up to the rest of the market. And I want you to see if you can help me find these outliers. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that. So we're trying to make money as fast as possible. I need to get this $300 back. So let's go. All right, cool. So I'm using the stock market right now because I actually believe in America and America folks. I like the stock market because it's like one of these regulated things. If you're Nancy Pelosi, you probably have some inside information. So I'm wondering if it's going to actually ask her or ask someone or find the person who's up in there to get us some of that inside info, if you know what I mean. And let's go. All right, let's go. Charlie, that's really interesting. So I have a comment from someone in the Discord here, and his name is Z Whaler. So Z Whaler basically was asking, yo, can you mention snitching and the Snitch Bench for Grok 4? It looks like it actually topped the bench. So this is a benchmark that has basically been done to see if your AI will actually snitch on you. So if you're looking up some stuff that you shouldn't be looking up, it can actually snitch on you. And apparently Grok 4 scored the highest on this benchmark, being it will definitely snitch on you. So beware if you're basically trying to look up some stuff that you shouldn't be looking up, and we're not going to look it up here because I'm not trying to get banned up in this piece. You probably could get snitched on. So FYI. Yeah, that's what's up. All right, so now we have Grok Heavy basically taking a look at some of the stock stuff right here, and I'm going to let it do its thing there. And then we still have the vibe marketing approach thing that we're going to be doing as far as this plan happening in ChatGPT O3 Pro. And we're just going to do a comparison. Like if you're going to pay $200 a month, what are you going to get for it as opposed to paying $300 a month? Is it already completed in 2 minutes and 55 seconds? Let's read this summary on the research. So research summary on vibe marketing workflows, challenges, and opportunities. Okay. So thanks for the query. Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. Let's break it down step by step based on research I've conducted using web searches and snippet extractions. So the current date is July 10th. True. Let us get this money back ASAP. Yeah. Okay. What is vibe marketing? So it's basically teaching me about vibe marketing and then end-to-end workflows. And then what else is it doing? These are specific workflows from 2025 blog posts. I like this. and Reddit threads. All right, this is cool. These are the ones that people are hyping but having a really hard time configuring. I like this. I pulled examples where users explicitly mentioned struggles. So scraping AI generated social content pipeline. So this is hard for beginners and non-techies. So scraping blog posts, enrich data with AI, generate vibe matched content, Instagram Reels, scripts using Runway or Copy AI, automate posting and scheduling. Why is it hard? Reddit users throw your hardest NAN workflow thread. Okay. It breaks the API limits. AI outputs need heavy editing for vibe accuracy. Okay. And this setup takes days. Damn. So blogs like this call it a Rube Goldberg mess. It looks cool, but fails in practice. So the people pay freelancers $100 to $500 to build these. Wow. So got a workflow idea that seems impossible. A process that's too tricky to automate. These workflows tend to look confusing and overwhelming. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Automated cold outreach with vibe personalizations, spammy but popular. Okay. Yeah, people hate cold outreach, but apparently people pay a lot of money for this, right? So scrape leads, enrich data, get personalized messages, and automate sending via email or tools. Why is it hard? High failure rate. Yes, yeah, they're totally, and they don't trust vibe coders. Thread warns of brittle code. Okay, makes sense. And then email nurturing sequences. This could be really interesting, right? So segments lead by vibe, generate personalized emails, automate sequences, track and optimize. Cross-channel campaign automation. So yeah, pull data from multiple channels, use AI to align, and then automate. Over 2,000 integrations possible, but custom logic fails due to platform changes. Open source tools like NAN has steeper learning curves. Yeah, these are all pretty ridiculous, which makes sense. So all opportunities to make $300 fast, leveraging these pain points. So these struggles are your opportunity. People face desperate solutions. So offer to configure these workflows on Upwork or Fiverr. Reddit shows the demand. Throw your hardest workflow. I'll build it for free threads, but charge $100 to $300 gig. Target small businesses struggling with this. Could do 1 to 3 gigs a month to cover your plan. Okay, so they're basically just saying like, Grok is telling me like, yo, just go to Fiverr. Just have someone build it and then you'll cover your plan. Creators sell templates. They'll build pre-configured workflows and sell it on Gumroad for $20 to $50 each. So build a SaaS, like your idea, make a simple app that simplifies these. Okay, what's an MCP server? Okay, it's doing that. All right, so I don't think it gave me anything as far as like interesting. It just did a lot of research. So I think the next step here will be literally to just, like if it sparks an idea, I can help prototype the code execution tool. So it does have a code execution. So that's really interesting. I heard it doesn't really do well with code, but if we get an MCP server out of this, I mean, it'll be something, right? So I think as far as like a workflow here, what could be really useful to y'all? Like drop it in the comments. Let me know. Let me kind of catch up with that. Let's see what's up. Yo, tech friend, what's going on, man? What type of MCP would you like, by the way? A big shout out to Mimo. Thanks for reposting this stream. Also, Eric's so funny about Ray's burning our hard-earned cash for entertainment. Yes, so awesome. Yeah, no games for sure. How are you finding Grok 4 so far? Yo, we're trying to cook with this. Bogini, like, drop me like what MCP. Okay, what MCP would you pay for that I can build basically for free right now on the stream? Right? You know, like what are you struggling with? For me, I feel like not that I'm struggling with, but I feel like it would be so cool to have like maybe better, like when I make an app, how can I like do research for people who are like in that demographic? Joining just for but I have 4, but is heavy worth it so far? I don't know. Like, let's just take a look. Okay. So I think what I could do is like, I think my problem is more specifically focused for app making and trying to market my app and figure out who's the right target demographic for this. So if we can have an MCP, let's see. Oh, I see. Let's say I'm trying to look at tech friend. He says MCP to do text to speech using Grok or something generous, free tier. Oh, interesting. Would love to know a little bit more about that workflow. Write a Ruby's on Rails style utility for writing MCP servers. Okay. I think I might do some of these prompts as separate ones for a new chat. That'd be really cool. I need a Neo4j MCP to be able to see all the desktop databases in the project. I'm going to do that on the side. Grok 4. Grok.com. I want you to do some research and help me build a Neo4j MCP to be able to see all the desktop databases in the project. Did it do it? Oh, I see. Okay, go. Let's go. I'm gonna have that going on the side. I mean, I have all the stuff to burn, so why not do this right here? Text-to-speech use case. You can have your AI agents to text-to-speech you updates while you vibe code in other windows. Oh, I like this idea too. So let me do Grok. I want you to help me build a text-to-speech MCP with the goal of having an AI agent text-to-speech me updates while I'm vibe coding in other windows. I'm using agents in Cursor and these other types of things. So I just need an MCP server to kind of tell me what's going on as far as any progress updates and stuff that I need to do. Yeah, I think this is something what it is. Yeah. So basically just like, hey, Ray Fernando, your code is ready. Look, what would you like to do? And I could just basically talk to it back. Like basically have my own smart Siri, right? I like these ideas. These are really good so far. Use the Apple say command. I think there is that too, right? Like you can do like it's an Apple script type of thing. And then it's like literally a shell script that will call out. You can possibly also do that with Claude Code hooks. Maybe that could be an interesting one, right? Have Claude Code hooks do that. So I'm gonna do Grok and I'm gonna have it look up that. I want you to do some research on the new Claude Code hooks. And I want you to make some hooks that will basically send me a notification, like whenever Grok needs to interrupt me for something. Sorry, it's not Grok. Whenever Claude Code hooks, I think. And I need to send me a like voice alert whenever Claude Code needs to interrupt me for something. I'd like to be able to talk to it back and give it further instructions, because the goal is to not really type stuff into Claude Code, but just kind of interact using voice. And look at this, create a daily stock tracker. That's pretty cool. Maybe we might do something like that. All right, dang, we got a lot of stuff cooking right now. Short reporting back on results. Okay, is Grok Heavy useless? We'll find out. I mean, it's going, basically it's just using multiple computes, like multiple agents at the same time. Right now it looks like it does 4 at a time. And we're seeing what the results will be. Some of the stuff takes longer. And then like the stock trending one, it looks like it just finished as well. And then also this ChatGPT 03 just finished too. So I was just kind of catching up with my original one as far as like the vibe marketing, and then we'll catch up to some of these other ones as well. Damn, we're really like going pretty fast here. So, all right. So I thought it really was going to take a lot longer. So let's see if I can choose a workflow from above earlier, by the way. So, because I really want to see if I can make some type of end-to-end workflow app that I could probably sell back to this community or something like that. So the one that I think was like end-to-end workflows in vibe marketing that people are struggling with. So the scalability, let's see, trend scraping. This could be interesting. So scrape trending posts, enrich data, generate vibe matched content, and then automated post and scheduler. So I think, let's see. I want to see if you can do something with MCP servers and trend scraping and see if we can kind of go further with that. Let's see if I can. I'm going to let Grok 4 Heavy kind of do that type of thinking. So this is just our original like vibe marketing like plan here. And then let's kind of catch up to see what ChatGPT was cooking with and seeing if it's actually reasonable or interesting, if you know what I mean. So basically what they did with 03 Pro, it thought for like 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And it says vibe marketing workflow starter kit. So the pane is like basically just giving me the whole thing, feeds them to Grok GPT. Okay, so opportunity is package a plug and play, make an end scenario that pulls trending hashtags from Twitter. Dude, Twitter does not use hashtags anymore and it's called X, right? From X Twitter, right? Feeds them into, so dude, how did it not verify this, bro? Like we're in 2025. Like it's getting all this context here and it's totally off. ChatGPT, y'all need to do some better. Y'all need to do better with this. MCP server says mini hub for HubSpot GA4. So marketers struggle to connect AI models directly to marketing tools. Oh, this is interesting. I like where this is going. So ship a one-click Railway Fly IO MCP server wired to HubSpot GA4, so that's Google Analytics 4, and Slack. Yo, this app is killer, bro. Pricing tiers are $0 for the dev key and rate limited, $49 a month for commercial, and $299 for a one-time white glove setup. Your Super Grok compute handles the Ooh, hold up. I like this. So, I mean, this to me as a developer is easy to set up, but I do realize that the marketing bros like probably struggle for weeks with AI and they're spending like $200 and they still can't get this figured out. But I could probably just do this like at one click. All right, let's make this app. Let's just do this. Copy, paste, let's go. Grok, build this for me, basically cook. Let's see. All right. Okay. I want you to help me make this app. Here is some research about the app and what the opportunity is. And let's just go ahead and see if we can cook. All right. So I'm going to let this do its thing with Grok Heavy, right? I'm going to submit this. And then I'm also going to, I'm just going crazy today. ChatGPT O3 Pro. Let's go. So we're going to compete head to head on making this app idea for us, which was pretty fire from ChatGPT. And we're going to see who's actually going to win. So, Grok Heavy is cooking and it's doing its thing right now. Agent 1, 2, 3, 4 spinning up. And then we're having O3 Pro like figure this thing out, which would be really cool. I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to do v0.dev and I'm literally going to see if like v0 can cook something for us. And so I'm going to do the large model. And I think I paid $20 a month for this. So I'm literally just going to say this. Instead of ship a one-click deployed railway, like I'm just going to remove this part because Vercel basically will handle that for me. But basically, yeah, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And it should have access to the web, I feel. And I'll just let it figure itself out. We'll see. So what's cool about Vercel v0 is the fact that it will literally make the app for us like immediately. And it will already be deployable / shippable with Vercel, which would be pretty crazy, right? So I'll do Claude Opus too. All right. That's a really good idea. So I have all of the AIs. We're just firing it up because literally I'm just trying to make this $300 back like as soon as possible, right? So we have Sonnet. No, we're going to go Opus. We're going to do extended thinking. And then I think it has access to the web as well. All right. So we're going to paste this in, this idea up in here. Yeah, here we go. I want you to copy this and I want you to paste it in here. All right. So we're hitting up all of the AIs. Anyone who thinks that they're smart, we got this. All right. If you're smart right now, if you're building this in the chat, let's go. Yeah. Why repeat myself, right? So yeah, that's what's up. Dang. Okay. Whew, we're really cooking today. Okay. So let's kind of rein it back in. So this was our original research. And then we're trying to narrow our idea down. I was like, can you just do an MCP server with trend scraping originally? Because we just said, like, let's just make it simple. I didn't really get too inspired off this first idea. Like I had a lot of heat going into this type of thing. And I was really hoping that it was going to come out with something that was really structured and beautiful. But to be honest, ChatGPT really crushed this in the way that it kind of organized the information for us. And actually kind of gave me something that I never really would have looked at to begin with. I was like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty good. We haven't even got to this Reddit pain point miner or like workflow health monitor bot. Yo, ChatGPT really cooked on this. This is the O3 Pro, by the way. That's $200 a month. So how to close a $300 in 72 hours. So record a 10-minute loom walking through the opportunity number 1, like tweet and post in marketing automation, Yo, this is crazy. So I just get 5 template sales at $79 and then boom, we're already in. Do you see, like, this is what I was hoping that Grok 4 Heavy would just slide through on as far as like, you know, but no, ChatGPT 03 Pro is the one who actually came up with this. So as far as where your money spent, if you were to spend like $200 with the 03 Pro, I mean, look at how we've been able to cook that on these ideas already. Not gonna lie, like this is pretty fire right now. All right, so pick one workflow above. Start with number 1. It's the hottest and quickest to the template. I think that's what, no, we did number 2, right? But number 1 apparently is like the vibe marketing workflow starter kit. I like this name, by the way. So it's a steep learning curve. Even enthusiastic guys can admin it. So like the pulling trends and hashtags from Twitter to me is just X like Twitter. That's just not really something I want to do right now because one is like, that's all behind an API. But if I pay $5,000 for the API, then it's going to be better. So maybe I'll just give it some more information as far as like number 1. I'm actually going to move forward with number 2, but can you do some research for number 1 right now? Because there is a problem. X does not allow me to scrape the data and I don't want to get banned from X. And if I want to get data from X, hashtags are no longer a thing. Those are completely dead. This is 2025 and this is July 10th, 2025. So what we probably have to do is pay $5,000 for the API and then do some interesting stuff. So if we have to pay $5,000, now we have to get all of that money back. And so the stakes are much higher. So see if you can think a little bit more about workflow number 1 and come up with some new and novel ideas that are still very high pain points that people would be willing to pay for so that we can recoup the cost. So let's go ahead and see that. Yeah. All right. So then I'm going to let that ruminate here. This is ChatGPT 3 Pro. We'll see what it comes back with because that'll be really interesting to see what it does. All right. So as far as what this did when we told it going back to Grok, and this says, I want you to see what we can do something with MCP servers and kind of go further with. I'm done building the MCP server for trend scraping and vibe marketing. Damn. Let's go. Let's see. Summarize the key insights, MCP. Okay. So here's the step-by-step guide to building a custom MCP for trend scraping. This was adapted from a browsing tutorial. DataCamp 1 focused on Python with fast MCP. It adds trend scraping from Reddit and Twitter. Okay, so it uses fast MCP, scrape graph, Pro, and Tweepy. Okay, so we basically use Python, and then we set this up, and we put our API keys in here. So we get the API key, API secret, access token. Okay. So this is basically doing that web scraping thing, especially for Twitter or X, I guess you can say. So that's it. This is basically the code for it. So all we do is set it up, trend scraping requests, and then we just scrape this type of thing. Yeah, I mean, underwhelming. Like all it did was just, it found a blog post and said, hey, Ray, here's your answer. Here you go. It doesn't seem like it generated anything new or novel. It's a very simple bot. Grok 4 Heavy, was it worth paying that $300 for just for like that? We're not going to just spend like 5 minutes searching? Nah, fam. This ain't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. I'm saving you $300 a month right now. If anyone's who's coming through right now, it's that 03 Pro from ChatGPT. Like no one is sponsoring this content, by the way. It's literally funded by people like you who are members. And we're seeing this live in real time. And wow. Okay. Dang. Okay. Sheesh. Okay. Let's catch up here. Let's see. Okay, we're making some money-making potential. I'm doing some additional research up here. We have a lot of stuff cooking in the pot right now. So let's kind of catch up with those too. So we have vibe marketing. We kind of threw that out the window because of the scraping thing. And I don't want to get banned. I still want to, I have a good following on X, so I don't want to lose like that 23,000 people who have been following me so far. So like that's pretty cool. MCP server mini hub. I think this is going to be really interesting because MCPs are a big deal. I saw this video where someone's using Cursor for like their marketing and their emails, and they're generating reports. So this is really scalable because we can keep adding features to this, and it just keeps getting more valuable over time when you get more feedback from this community. So this to me seems extremely promising. And this is kind of why I pasted it into ChatGPT, and also for making it in V0. So in V0, let me just kind of increase the font so we can catch up here. Let me see if I can also make it dark mode as well so that people can not get the flashbang. So give me a second to see what I can change the theme for that. And that way we have it more eye friendly. So here we go. All right, folks, thank you for your patience here. So it says, of course, this is an exciting concept. Thank you for gaslighting me. So I think it's just asking clarifying questions. So here's the initial version of my application. And yo, did I get the code for this? I don't think I got the code, bro. Like, I don't see the code. Where is the code? Am I tripping right now? MCP server clone? V0. ¿Qué pasó? Suggestions? Wait. So, I'll create a dashboard and interacting. Here's an initial version of your application. This foundation gives you a connector dashboard, an AI command center, and a scalable architecture. So you can try interacting with the AI. Okay. Well, I think I want you to implement. Okay, so I think what I'll do, damn, I should just give this to like Convex Chef and then like let it cook there too. Why don't we do that? Let's go to Convex. Is it chef.convex? Yeah, chef.convex.dev. I'm going to see if we can literally just have Convex make the app for me, right? So let's see. Get started with Chef. Uses web. Oh, I have to use Chrome. Okay. My bad. Chef.convex.dev. I want this app like immediately, bro. I want to like literally just give it instructions and just we deploy this thing by the end of the live stream and we just start cooking. I mean, I want this money ASAP. I'm not trying to wait. All right, so let me see if I could sign in. Sign in. I think it's GitHub, right? Let's see if I can get this here figured out. I think so. Let's see. We in. Sign in. And then let's see, verify. I need a verification. Oh, you know what? Yeah, give me a second. Let me see if I can get this signed in real quick. And then we'll be cooking. So passwords and then GitHub. And then we'll do my code here. Yeah, thank you for everyone for standing by as we take care of this type of thing. I know this is like not the most exciting part, but once we get cooking here, this is going to be really fun. All right, so let's get that going. I have read and accept the terms and conditions. Did I do this correctly? So you can now close and return to the project. Okay, signing in. Let's see, convex.dev. Did I do this right, fam? I think I logged in with my GitHub. I logged into the wrong account. Of course. Yeah, log out. Yes. This is what happens when you like vibe log in, I guess. Oh man. So, okay. So Convex Chef, I was supposed to get in, but that's not working for me right now. Well, Chrome. Convex chef.convex.dev. Okay. And let's see if I can settings and usage. Log out. Okay. Sign in. Continue with Google, maybe. Go ahead and see if I can sign into the right account. Maybe that was probably the problem. All right, folks. Link, you'll need to log in again. Let's see. Yeah, appreciate everyone. Link in existing accounts. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I have this a little bit backwards. I need to get this configured, and I'm going to go ahead and do that probably in a different stream, so that we can kind of get that going in a different time, because I was hoping to just really cook all at once. So, okay, so now let's go ahead and see if we can get this app going, because I know that I asked V0 and I'm waiting for some integration here. And so let's just go ahead and see what's going on here in Claude Sonnet. So I asked Claude Sonnet to see if it can build this for me using Opus. Sorry, not Claude Sonnet, Claude Opus 4. So I gave these instructions into there, and it did its thinking process to build the MCP server mini hub. And then it gave me the code for it, and it plotted, says like, now I need to create the deployment for these types of things. So basically here is the code for the MCP server, and then the configuration schema for it as well. That's pretty hot. So it actually created the whole thing for the marketing hub. And then it says, let me create the deployment package for all the necessary files. Okay. Okay. This is awesome. And then here's a one-click interface to this is crazy. Yo. Damn, Sonnet just did this in one request. Let's go. That's insane. So all you have to do is put your private key here, your Google for tag key, and then the Slack bot token. And then all of a sudden you get all of the updates there, and you could say deploy to your hub to Railway or deploy to Fly.io. And then here's like the billing integration for Stripe. So literally it wrote the TypeScript file for it. So it's going to use the 2023 version of Stripe API key. A little outdated because that's probably what it's in its trading set. But damn, it cooked. Here's a license key management class to validate the key, handle the webhook as well. Dang. Oh my goodness. Bruh. Oh, what? Oh my God. Claude Opus does not play. So we built the core MCP server, fully functional with TypeScript, pre-wired integrations for HubSpot, smart rate limiting based on pricing tiers, all the default actions you specified, one-click deployment, Railway flight. Grok 4? No, Grok 4 did not even do this. Monetization system, key features, revenue model. I think I'm ready to start making some money like today. Go-to-market strategy, launch a product hunt with a free tier, content marketing, partner with marketing agencies, build templates. Why this will work, it's a real pain point. Marketers desperately need this bridge. Low friction. They see results in minutes, not days. Sticky pain point. Grok Supercompute handles the AI side while you monetize the connect. Sheesh. Make something Claude Code superpower. Wow. Yeah, just use Ollama and spawn several LLM calls and make a merging strategy. That'd be interesting. Is it possible for us to make something like Grok 4 Heavy, but with other models like Claude Opus using N8N? Probably. That's what I'm thinking. Damn, Roush, look at that crap. I would scrape GitHub to legitimately good PRs for maximizing your rep as a lead gen or something like that. Can we just get ChatGPT Pro after the stream? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I use both daily. O3 Pro crushes Opus, but Opus is number 2. What about Claude Code with Opus 4? That could be really interesting. Yeah, looks like Claude Opus using it. $300 a month. Yes, it was. The tech demo was a waste of time. All right, cool. Yeah. With your unlimited super fast transcription service, I can tell you with unlimited cross transcription speaker diarization memory, it would be super unique offering in transcription service that would pay back the 3. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah. I don't know. This is really interesting. Tweepy doesn't work anymore, I think. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that like the older APIs don't work as well. This is really curious. Also curious how Grok 4 Heavy compares to the regular Grok. I don't know if I'm getting anything more intelligence-wise from this specific, use case and stuff. So yeah, that's what's up. I wouldn't trust that confident overview much. Guarantee the code has quite a bit of integration bugs. Yes. This code from Claude Opus, by the way, like the fact that, I mean, just doing a quick eye check, like the first red flag for me was like this like Stripe integration. It's like we're way beyond this 2023 version. And this is kind of like, I would call it like a first rough draft. And I should have probably given like an engineer prompt, but I just kind of wanted to see what it would pull up from like an architecture perspective and like how it really thought about this. The thing I'm kind of probably more blown away with than anything is the fact that it already gave me like a working landing page. So literally this like in Claude Code, in Claude Opus, like the literally web version, like the person can literally just select their plan. They say like, I want free, here's my keys, and then let me do my thing, or like let me just do this and then like deploy it or something. Like that's an interesting little kind of take there. So this is actually crazy. Like I think that's just super. See your configuration, preparing deployment, and then it gives like a whole thing to pop out for that. Like that's pretty cool. Obviously, I'd have to set up the template and do all the other stuff in the configuration, and this is just isn't one click from this interface into the other stuff. But it's interesting as far as like, what we're working with there. I was hoping that it was literally going to build it out in V0, but I'm basically going to say the foundation gives you this type of thing, scalable Next.js. Okay, so I want you to implement the code so I have a working prototype and just use some basic JSON objects, because later on we'll add the integration for the database. I want to be able to click through stuff and have some clickable interfaces here to try to experiment and make sure that this works. So this is the instructions I'm giving as a follow-up for V0, and I'm going to see if it can actually just start writing the code. That's kind of what I was looking for here. As far as like what ChatGPT O3 Pro was doing, let's see if it did anything here. So this is just generating a game plan, because I said, I want you to help me make this app. And here's the North Star goal, like one-click deploy that lets marketers say, hey, ChatGPT, send yesterday's GA4 conversations to growth reports channel and update HubSpot deals over 10K without touching Docker or YAML. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So it's basically O3 Pro is doing the planning and architecture, and it's talking about the data happy path. So it's kind of like outlining this information before it writes any code. So connector, cheat sheet, it's kind of doing these things. Each method should be idempotent. So, okay. I like the way that O3 Pro is kind of thinking about the architecture here, which is super duper awesome. I guess one thing that I should possibly do is probably tell Grok to do this same plan. And I think we did that there, and it should have come up with this thing. So we're going to check that in a little bit. I just wanted to make sure that I did that as well. So it's already doing it. So here's the implementation tips, a roadmap for a 6-week sprint. Okay. So obviously it still thinks that it's like not in the AI age. So it's like, here's how long it's going to take, if you're pitching this to your like dev team, but you can probably do this in like 30 minutes. So here's the stubs for it. This is pretty cool. Insert contact, create a chat route. So here's using the chat schema. Next actions for you today. Run, create, fastify latest templates. Okay, risks. Clone scaffold. I like this project. I want to see if I can give it to someone to see if I can actually do it. All right, so I think what I might do is create a new V0 chat. So V0, for whatever reason, didn't generate the code for me, like at all. It started with this thing and it just didn't do anything. Like I don't understand. I'm gonna go back again and then just start a new chat on V0. That's such a big L. So what I'm gonna do is gonna give it the original prompt which was, so I'm going to give it the game plan that we got from ChatGPT here, right? This whole thing. And then, and I think it says you're up, right? On a scaffold. Okay. And then I'm also going to give it the original like prompt, which was at the very top right here. Okay. Hopefully, I was expecting this to really cook, but it just totally did nothing. Go. Just go make the things. Okay. All right. So let's go back to now the Grok GA4 thing. And this is the prompt that I gave Grok with Heavy, right? So like we just said, hey, I like this idea from ChatGPT 03, which is the plan to make this MCP server for a mini hub for basically HubSpot and GA4. And here's the implementation plan. And so it's telling us about a tech stack that it wants to use. No external client libraries are needed. We'll handle everything manually. Okay, this seems promising. And then Slack uses a token. Great. I mean, this is looking like a pretty good plan, actually. So yes, step-by-step plan. So set up the environment with app.py. I like this. Get the API credentials. Do this myself. So basically create a private app in HubSpot. Get the access token with these scopes, and then create a service account here, and then create a Slack app, and then test locally and run with Unicorn. Okay, pretty cool. Create a landing page for signups, and then include all its connectors. Okay, so all I do is just get this app and deploy it, and I'll be good. Okay, JSON service accounts, Slack token, HubSpot token. Okay. And so for me, this looks like it could just be like a white glove type of service where I would sit with somebody and integrate it, say for like $100 or $150 or maybe $200. It's like, hey, I could set this up for you. And then I would just go in and grab these types of things myself. And then the next step would probably just be like self-service, right? How can I make this? But I think sometimes if you first launch something like this and you do a white glove service where like for $200, I'll integrate it for them. One is that you'll actually solve their problem. You'll walk through, and then once they have this in-person relationship with you, you can continue that conversation to add more features because they've already met you. They feel comfortable talking to you. So that's the advantage as a human. It's like, okay, let me onboard you with this complicated workflow, right? Like you're basically just hosting this on a server, putting their keys in and setting them up privately. And then they could even pay you a monthly fee for this type of maintenance type of things, which would be really interesting, right? So that's interesting. So validate the API key while and apply rate limiting. Okay, that's cool. So 5 minutes for dev tier. Okay, so you basically set a hard-coded rate limit. Invalid API key here. Generate Google OAuth using a service account. Okay. So it grabs the OAuth token. Damn, it wrote all the code for us. That's pretty awesome. Wow. And then now it just gets the contacts. That's pretty cool. GA4 traffic, pull the latest 24-hour traffic conversions. And so it's using the API key to grab this stuff in the last 24 hours. Here's the metrics. And then here's a Slack to push the report to the channel. So all we do is basically install this, and then we just like use Postman to do like a simulate a request here. And here's a post report for that. And so all we do is go to here and we start to like create a GitHub repo and basically create a file that contains the following requirements. And then we get this template and click deploy now to our GitHub repo. Wow. And then all we do is put these keys in and then deploy. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so this apparently should be able to get us everything we need. So this is basically the app.py, right? Yeah. Huh. That's pretty fire. Oh, wow. Well, I guess we have everything there, huh? That's so sweet. Okay. Well, I guess it kind of works, right? So, okay, so that's Grok 4 for that idea. The MCP server mini plan is here for ChatGPT, and it kind of gave me the code here. So this is for the scaffolding. And as far as V0, I had to create a new plan, and it's talking about some other integrations. So here's the thing. And then this is kind of like a little mini chatbot that it basically built for me that's clickable. And behind me is basically some of the code that it wrote out here for this type of thing. And I don't know if we can make this a little bit bigger. But yeah, so now you can basically start out. So I would just install the API key and the Slackbot token. So use a composable sidebar. Okay. Does this work as an MCP server? Does this work as an MCP server? I don't know. All right. So that's that there. Okay, cool. So we have this there. Let's check in on the other thing that we're talking about was stock marketing stuff. So for those who were tuning in earlier, we'd asked it a question about the stock market. And I wanted to see if it can actually do some of its research using Grok Heavy to see if we can find any outliers in the stock market. And the way that we were going to try to do that is to say, there tends to be a relative rotation in the stock market when the big institutions rotate from like tech stocks to like medical or like industrials, depending on a whole bunch of other factors that they're doing. And a lot of like the strategy that these people employ is like, well, if money is rotating into one specific asset, it's possible that other assets are underpriced and they haven't been rotated into yet. So maybe we can like see if we can use Grok Heavy to see if we can try to find those types of things. And then the second part of it is see if there's anyone that's online that's talking about it. And if they are talking about it, maybe we can get in on it like in near real time, right? Because this is supposed to be connected to the internet and it's supposed to kind of give us that type of background information. So the current stock trends as of July 2025. So it's going to try to do a little bit of a breakdowns, right? So like, I'm not a financial advisor. This is for informational purposes only, and stock prices can change rapidly. Always do your own diligence and consult a professional. All right. Got that out of the way. Okay, cool. So the overall market performance was talking about this. Fewer individual companies are reaching all-time highs and getting that narrow breath. Then NASDAQ is slipping slightly and rising amid rising treasury yields, suggesting some caution in growth stocks. So the tariffs and trade tensions are impacting global markets. Earnings season is underway with mixed results. Okay, volatility is expected and to rise due to the tariff deadlines and Q2 earnings. So this is really interesting. Okay, so stock performance. So home builders and housing are outperforming amid weak first half, but potential recovery. So tech continues to lead, but shows signs of fatigue. That's interesting. So DHI. So if I do like TradingView, and I take a look at, or let's see if maybe not even TradingViews. If I can take a look at DHI stock. Dang. Look at this chart. Okay, so it's made a nice recovery. So from like the last like 6 months. Okay, so it's basically coming back to where it was before. And in the last month, it's pretty much been on a little bit of a rise. And here's some similar housing ones. Okay. So home builders and housing, I didn't really think about that. That's really weird. LEN are outperforming amid weak first half, but potential recovery. Oh. So lagging areas, healthcare and energy are down due to policy uncertainties, oil pricing declines, and reimbursement issues. Small caps and value stocks have lagged the broader rally, but show signs of improvement. Well, that's interesting. So broader context, the market is still transitioning to a risk-off phase seasonality with S&P up 10% year-to-date globally. However, extreme greed and retail speculation could lead to corrections. Forecasts suggest 2 Fed rate cuts later in 2025, potentially boosting undervalued areas like small caps. That's interesting. So people are talking about on Reddit discussions on rotation away from overdue megatech towards small caps, biotech, and nuclear energy. See, nuclear energy is an interesting one for me because of like data centers. They're going to be very power hungry, and I don't think there's any policy around this, but it'd be really interesting to see what's thinking about here. So using the relative rotation graphs, a tool that plots assets' relative strength amongst the benchmark, recent analysis show key rotations. So small caps, exactly what I was talking about, from lagging to improving. This matters because small caps have underperformed large caps by 17% year to date, but could catch up due to rate cuts and economic reacceleration in 2026. Oh, so that's interesting. So the rate cuts decisions could be actually a play here for these types of things that people aren't, or they're starting to talk about it. It looks like on Reddit, and not a lot of institutional money may have moved in there. That's interesting. So techs and institutionals are leading. Leading quadrant are also showing signs of weakening momentum, and then value versus growth. So value stocks are at 12% discount to fair value, while growth is at a minimum. Okay, so the outliers, price tickers. Okay, so based on the cross-reference tools, I prioritize valuation metrics, lagging stats, catch-up potential, and then public chatter. So the top outliers with tickers, reasonings, and potential. So the Intel Corporation is lagging. Intel? That's not the first company I think about for here, but that's weird. Catch-up potential. So the growing semiconductor command, government subsidies. Let's go ahead and take a look at their stock. Maybe that's why they call it out. It's because maybe other people aren't really looking at it. It's taking such a massive L though, you know? That's interesting. 66% down from the last, over here. And like in the last year though, I could see why it's calling it out as an outlier. Because in the last 6 months, it's up 24%. And then the last month, it's up 7%. And the last 5 days, it's up like almost 10%. So like that's an interesting spike here. Like why? Why did that happen, right? Huh. Wow. Yeah, I know it went down crazy because of all the other chip stuff, but that's interesting. Okay. Growing semiconductor commands. People are talking about heavy discussion on Reddit as a laughing tech giant that could rebound like AMD did. Yes. Eek, what are we doing? So yeah, basically what we were doing initially was testing Grok to see if we can actually kind of utilize some of its intelligence. One of the intelligence that we were trying to see is like its real-time data information and processing, but also be able to look and scrape other information online to see what people are currently talking about. And so I thought stock stuff, they talked about poly market and everything like that. But I like the stock market in terms of like, that's where a lot of my money is, my portfolios and everything like that. And some of the research that I like to do is look at like the relative rotation for stocks and everything. And so what I was thinking here is like, what if we just give it a command to basically do my own research, but have it do its thing and to see if it can utilize the information on the internet to try to get us that information as fast as possible. Because with this real-time data, why not take advantage of it, right? So here's Intel. Like this is a stock I would completely overlook and I'd be like, they're dead. But it's kind of getting me to think. It's like, oh, wow, maybe I should add this to my list to do some more research on later on, right? Like, so this is kind of what's really interesting. And so I'm trying to see if the Grok 4 Heavy is going to give us anything more to look at than maybe the regular Grok plan would have, or maybe something else from like ChatGPT in comparison, right? So here's another one that says Pfizer is why it's underpriced. So it's hit by post-pandemic pessimism. Healthcare sector has lagged amid policy uncertainties. So the catch-up potential is strong because of new drugs in the pipeline. So that's an interesting thing. So value investing sees biotech play of 30% growth potential by 2026. ExxonMobil as well, like energy in general, right? Alphabet, Rocket Lab. So other notables are here and the risks mentioned. So if you like deeper dives for code P&E validations. So I feel like as a companion, this could be really interesting if you're in the financial sector as far as research. I am not a financial analyst. I'm just an engineer using these products. And would I pay $300 a month for this access? Is this something that O3 Pro can do? Maybe. I actually think with an internet connection, I feel like O3 Pro can do this. So I'm just going to do that. ChatGPT. And let's just put it head to head on this specific task. So I give it O3 Pro. Because it has internet access, it should be able to reason and see if it can pull up anything interesting. The other thing that we're not really aware of is like ChatGPT may not have access to real-time data the way Grok does. So that could be really insightful. And so as far as like, what are the results going to be? Are they going to be any different? Are they going to be the same? We're kind of sussing it out right now in real time. So that's what's up. Somebody earlier, Doom, was asking, to build a Neo4j MCP server to see all of the desktop databases in the project. And this basically was trying to see if it can actually build it here. So it's talking about Python. Install the Neo4j server package. And this is what it's doing. Configure the MCP server. And this is how it's configured using this information. And verify the connector in Claude Desktop. Is that all you need? You just basically just install this tool and then you configure it using this. I think that's it. It referenced 10 web pages and we can kind of see them over here. Huh. Yeah, let me go ahead and just share this link and I'll put it into the comments because I know that Doom was looking for this. So if you're looking for this, you're going to have to find it right here. Doom, if you are a member, I will put this into my Discord. So that way you can get it there. It will be in the like, let me cook area there. So for those who are kind of interested in doing that. I know Eek is asking me right now, can you check its capabilities in finding vulnerabilities and bounties? Eek, let me know as far as like maybe blockchain smart contracts. So yeah, let's see, like, let's go ahead and see if I can give it that prompt right now because he was just asking me in the Discord. So I can just do Grok and we're going to see if we can actually ask that. So I want you to help me find bounties maybe in. Okay. So I think this is literally probably just going to do some app research, but because Eek is a member, I'm just going to go ahead and do that for him as well. Let's see if I can do that. I think another question that I want to see if I can get going from one of my members here that was asking was, let me go to Grok 4. So as far as like Grok 4 heavy, my first impressions are just like ChatGPT 3.03 Pro. It's pretty good. This is the real life tests. And part of the reason why we're doing this like real life testing is like most people use it this way, right? Like I am, I as an entrepreneur want to use this to try to find business ideas. I want to use the real-time data to try to get some alpha. If I'm like actually investing in the stock market, I want to see if it can actually use the information from the real-time data. How good is it, right, at doing that type of thing? What have we been able to learn so far? Can it actually write software, write code for me? Grok 4 is still going to release their coding model, which is going to be in the coming month. And apparently that's supposed to be really, really good. And so what does Grok 4 Heavy get you? Grok 4 Heavy basically looks like it spawns out 4 agents that work in parallel, that go off and do the different tasks, and then come back and then try to give you like the best answer. I don't know. Like, here are all the different things that we can do, like a daily tech digest and like productivity boost and newsletter. So I don't know, like if we hit newsletter, what is it saying here? It says like, these are like one of the built-in tasks from Grok 4. So this is politics, technology, and science. So maybe we can just do an AI newsletter, right? So we can just say AI newsletter. And then we could just do schedules daily, right? And it looks like AI on AI. What? Oh, it doesn't let me. AI. Oh, it doesn't really provide a concise summary. Okay, this doesn't let me type in here anything. Okay, AI, tech, AI, news. Okay, so provide a concise summary of the top 5 news stories from the last 24 hours focusing on AI news. Include one key takeaway, create a custom format. Okay, so this is a prompt that would literally run every day, and looks like you can set up 10 daily tasks. And you can have it do deep search, an email plus the app as well. So why don't I just run it in here? Instead of deliver daily, I'm just going to do this. And then let's see. I'm going to see what it does. Yeah. Grok will be good. Not in the, wait, Grok will be good, not in just chat, but in the API version. There's a good example. I use Grok's Llamas 3 for community engagement. You don't need these models for anything other than to be good at yapping. Probably, yeah. Grok will be good for business management or worse models that are faster with, yeah. I've been using this daily to schedule my daily. Oh, okay. Oh, is that how you get news and stuff? It'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, to me, it'd be interesting to know about like kind of what's like breaking in AI, but I feel like my Twitter feed is really, or my X feed's pretty good. Yeah, Grok and Grok are different. Yes, they are actually two different things. One's an inference provider, one is not. So as far as ChatGPT 03, this is the same question we gave it for the stock market analysis. So it gave us a quick like rotation sector highlight. So it says like in the like rotation sector thing, there's actually like somebody who does this type of analysis. So it found that. And it's showing what the leading, improving, and weakening and lagging indicators are. So it's very similar to what we got from Grok, but this is kind of formatted in this like chart format. And so here, what's interesting about ChatGPT's models is it actually gives us the tickers, which are super duper handy. And we can actually see like Duke Energy, it's actually going up. You know, from a year to date perspective, it's kind of been like up and flat, right? From the last 6 months. And then for the last month, it's been kind of doing this wavy thing pretty much. And then as far as like maxed out, it's pretty much up and to the right. So you can't go wrong, I guess, investing in energy, right? Here's another one from like Nike, which is interesting, right? So like, Nike, I never thought about Nike. Like, what's the deal with Nike, right? Here's US Bank Corp. And this is just the last day. But if I do year to date, 6 to 8, you know, just kind of taking a look at the charts here. Intel. Yeah, here's Intel, right? So like, did this get us any better information? I kind of like the formatting in ChatGPT, right? So relative strength, like plot ticker XLU, XLY, right? And then here's the event calendar for earnings, and then the valuation history. So this is just kind of like a brief summary for ChatGPT 03 Pro. It didn't necessarily give us any information as far as like what people are specifically talking about. All it is just referencing web articles that were mentioned, and the web articles are actually linked within here from like MarketWatch, July 8th. So this is just going to get that public information of whatever's posted. And so I don't know, you could get this also from without the heavy plan, without the $300 a month plan. You could just get it maybe from Grok 4. And that could possibly be sufficient enough. There's a lot more detail in this plan from Grok 4 Heavy, which could be insightful if you're kind of using this as maybe something you want to gather. I feel like if you're maybe writing a financial newsletter to your friends, or you have a group or something, somebody would probably pay some money for this type of article, and you could probably sell it for like $10 a month, right? Like just this type of insight, I know like people in the finance industry pay for because it's somebody who did some research. And in this case, it's Grok 4. I don't know how accurate it is, but it did search like 49 pages and put that together for Grok 4. So yeah, I mean, from a finance perspective, I think it could be really interesting to do that here. As far as like writing code for us, it just depends on the task. It's kind of, you know, we had to like try to see if we can do some MCP servers, and it's just okay. And it's also possibly partly my prompts as well, right? So like they're not really like that specific, but I think that's the whole point. Everyone prompts a little bit differently, and you can get different results. One of the other prompts that we were trying to catch up on was like about this text-to-speech MCP. So like I wanted to see if there was an AI agent that can basically talk to us while we're coding. And so we can interrupt it, or like if I'm using an agent, I need the MCP server to tell me what's going on, and then like I can basically talk back to it. So this was an interesting one that was mentioned by TechFriend earlier, and we're trying to see if it can actually give us some interesting results and see if we can actually build this. So basically it's taking us through the steps on how to build this here and how to actually implement this MCP server. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just going to copy this chat, and I'm going to go ahead and tag my group here and say, I think TechFriend as well. And then I'm basically just putting this on the Discord. So if you want to get access to the Discord, it's currently through a private membership, and all you have to do to join is literally just go to my YouTube channel, Ray Fernando 1337, and you just support the channel, you know, $6.99 a month to join. And then that'll basically, there's going to be a post in there for the instructions for how to join the Discord. It's a private group right now, and I'm basically just doing it this way. So the first 100 members are basically just paying this awesome, sweet $6.99 a month. And then the price will double after the 100 members. So if you've been able to make it this far, if you've been able to discover me this early, because a friend told you, or if you're thinking about supporting, I definitely appreciate the support, because these are powered by people like you. I'm not paid by any of these model providers or not sponsored by anyone. So what that means is you're just going to get this raw take from me, and it's, there's no additional bias because I have, a love from one company or an anti-compete clause from the other. And so, yeah, this is totally organic content, which is really awesome. And that is my little my little spiel there, and just kind of want to let you know. So in this MCP server that we're talking about, so hopefully we can create this voice thing, which would be really interesting. So I do a lot of vibe coding, and this could actually be very useful for me. So this is really cool. And I'm just kind of inspecting the code to see how legit this is. So paste the following in. This creates an MCP server with one tool, speak update, that receives text. And then you'll use the Pi text to speech SX3 thing. Okay. But text to speech is blocking, so it runs synchronously inside of the async function. Okay. Notes on the code. Run the server. And then, so integrate with my AI agents in Cursor or Claude Code. So all I have to do is just edit this config file and then add this to my local MCP server. And so with MCP servers, you can actually run UV commands. And so that's what it looks like we do. We set up our own Python file. And then in the MCP server configuration, we basically just tell it to run this script, which is basically right up here. And when it needs to do something and it calls an MCP server, it will call the MCP server and then come back and tell us this live. So testing and debugging. So all we do is just run the server in Cursor and then add more tools like speak with priority for urgent updates with different voice speeds. Oh, that's pretty cool. If you can't install packages. Okay, this is pretty awesome, actually. What I might be able to do is just tell Claude Code to help me make this, right? Why not tell Claude Code to make this plan for me? So I think that could be really cool, actually. Let me see, terminal. Let's see if we can actually have Claude Code make this, because this is actually kind of like a fun little script to have. CD workspace. I'm going to make this bigger so y'all can see this. All right, so workspace, touch, like mkdir -p, and then I'm going to just create cooking. CD cooking. Okay, so then what I'm going to go ahead and do is call Claude and pull up Claude Code. Do you trust the files? Yes. All right, so I'm getting started with a new project. And so I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just literally just give it this plan. I'm getting started with this new project, and I want you to review this plan and make it for me. And then I'm going to do Shift Tab and hit Shift Tab again. So the plan mode is on. I'm going to paste the plan, and the plan that I pasted was literally all of the output from this type of thing. So this should create an MCP server for us that we can use in our app that will interrupt us and say, hey, something's going on. So why don't we do that? All right. So I have the Claude Code Max plan. I know I spend like a bunch of money per month for all these plans, but I'm literally doing it for you guys. So yeah. So is Gemini CLI any good? Unfortunately, I've been catching lots of L's with this. And the other thing that isn't really clear for me that Gemini CLI should do is that once you reach a certain threshold limit, you actually start to get charged for the tokens using Gemini CLI. And I think that's a little sneaky because there's no /cost thing that will tell you exactly how many tokens you're using. And then like as far as results for the stuff, like it just seems to be hit or miss. And I have such a good experience with Claude Code, especially using the Opus and the Sonnet models, that right now it's just really hard for me to just kind of even try to use it all the time. Is Grok's state of the art? Maybe, I think so. I said, yeah, I would say, okay, yeah. Yes, if he's actually good at mathematics. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. So I think I'm just kind of catching up with the comments here. I had this in plan mode, and I just wanted to make sure I had everything set up here. So here's Claude's plan. So this is what it's going to do. Here's a TTS MCP server implementation. So it's going to create an SRC file, a Python file. Okay. Create the projects and initialize it. So it's going to create this directory, initialize it with UV, install this. Okay. Install optional dependencies, enhanced. Okay. Create a Python toml. Cool. So I think, wow, okay, this is really cooked on this thing. So here's the to-dos that it's going to do. It's going to review the MCP server implementation, create the project, implement it, create the configuration files and documentation, add error handling and logging, create the test scripts for the text-to-speech server. This is crazy. This is wild. Okay. So yeah. Why don't we just go? Would you like to proceed? Yeah, we're vibing right now. So I'm letting Claude Code cook its thing there. And we'll check back on this in a little bit later, right? So like this is just going to burn my tokens and that'll just be what it is. Thank you for providing such good content. Hey man, this is what I'm trying to do. Just try to do this stuff. So are there any free ways to use Claude Code? No. You can use Claude Code if you pay for a pro plan, but you only get to use Claude Sonnet, by the way. Finally, some Claude Code love. Dude, Claude Code is my go-to. Yeah. Oh man, Emmy Palace just became a member. Thank you so much, man, for the support. I really, really appreciate it. Like, you are the real MVP. Everyone who's becoming members is really kind of helping support the channel. Yeah, my goal is to actually get my first, 100 subscribers. So everyone's support here is actually helping me pay a lot for these inference costs and building these models. So as a member, I'll basically get you access to the Discord link, and I'll actually probably send you a text for the Discord link so you can kind of get in there. So damn, how much are you paying for Claude Code? $200 a month, bro. And the output is way, way worth it. If I was trapped on an island and I only had to get one plan that I can actually sign up for, even if it's $300 a month, I'm paying $200 a month to Claude Code, and that $200 a month is going to get me out of that island. Don't get any ideas, Mr. Beast. Don't throw me on that island with Claude Code and try to see if I can get out of it, because I'll probably figure it out. Yo, Savant, thank you also for becoming a member. You guys are really, really awesome and kind of rolling through here. Let me know, by the way, what prompt you want me to run. As members, I want to make sure I get your prompts run up in here so that we can kind of do this, because I don't think people are going to be wanting to pay $300 a month for this type of thing yet, if you know what I mean. Multi-ACC windsurf for 2.5, make a Python script, puppeteer to get it going for free. Yeah, that's what's up. Let's see here. Okay, so how do I want to proceed? So I want to, yes, don't ask again for this. All right, so I'm basically Claude coding right now in the background and kind of catching up with this. Yes, please. I'm basically just letting it YOLO in my directory right now. So we have workspace/cooking. This is literally the live stream right now. That's how we're cooking with this. So yeah. All right. So thanks everyone for becoming members and kind of being real ones as well. All right, cool. So, a scraper for YouTube transcriptions of your favorite podcasters gives you a daily digest. Hey, that's a really cool idea. Actually, that's a really, really cool idea. So YouTube transcripts, why don't we do that? I like this idea a lot. I'm just doing Grok. We're just cooking on everyone's ideas right now. So that'd be really cool. I want you to help me make a scraper for YouTube transcripts. And the goal of this is to basically see if I can make an interface to scrape my favorite podcasters and get a daily digest. So right now I'm using Whisperflow, and that's kind of what is doing here, this right here. So I go heavy, enable web search, go. All right, kids. Damn. Cool. Wow. Oh, wow. We have 1,039 people who view this on X and 102 people watching on YouTube. Holy smokes. Man, if you're watching on YouTube, definitely slam that thumbs up, because I think what's happening is everyone who's like interacting with this is causing this to show up on everyone else's feeds. That's really cool. That's super awesome. That's cool. Oh, people have also asked, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, people are like, I want to know when you go live. On YouTube, you have to make sure, like, not only do you go to the little bell icon, but it says, I want to be notified for all of them. So live streaming is a whole nother like actual level to be notified by. So you'll get notifications when I go live. And so as of now, I'm trying to go live at 9 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. And that way you'll be able to get notified of me in the live stream and kind of when I do that. Sometimes it's plus or minus 9 o'clock. Like today was like 9:30. I just wanted to make sure that all the subscription stuff was at least working. And this is basically a self-funded thing. This is just me done as an engineer. I used to be an engineer at Apple, by the way. I worked there for like almost 13 years. Worked on a lot of really cool projects, and just really happy to now be on my own using AI. I'm not sponsored by any company, so I can talk freely as much as I want to. Obviously, I'm not trying to put any company down, but this literally just is my own opinion and experience. So you're literally watching this. And the disclaimer is that there is no disclaimer. No, the disclaimer is like, you get to cook with me, kind of hang out, and your support really does go a long way. It's supporting, me being able to actually try these types of things out live. And as members, you don't have to take that big risk of paying all this money, and then you can make your own decision in terms of like, whether something is worth paying for or not. I think most people were hesitant about paying $300 a month. I know I would be. And it's really kind of cool to watch somebody else use it like this to see what's going on. So as we're seeing right now, when you're using Grok 4 Heavy, you get access to the additional agentics runs that are happening in parallel. And according to Mr. Elon, is the fact that, these are supposed to like sort of compare, and they don't rank, but they kind of share notes with each other and then try to give you that type of thing. So did images get better on Grok 4? I need some Grok 4 image prompts. I don't know. Like, you need to get good at writing documentation and prompts, by the way. Matthew, hit me up with any tips. Like, if you're watching me right now, let me know one thing I can improve right now that I will just add to my prompting that I can help make it better and so forth. I usually like to do prompting in Claude Code. And then when I do the planning mode, that's kind of where it helps me with my prompts. So, Ray, loving the comparison. Question for you and on Claude Code. I'm still stuck in my Cursor Pro ways, and I like being able to screenshot and share my errors with it. I signed up for Claude Code recently, but haven't played with enough, and I'm able to share screenshots. So I currently use this in Cursor, and on Mac, I'm able to drag the screenshots into the Claude Code like interface there. So when I drag it in, it says you have to hold the Shift key, and then that's how it's able to show up. If you're using it in the terminal or command line, if you drag it into the terminal, you'll actually see a reference to the file path, and that's basically going to read that file for you, just as an FYI. Before it reads the file, it's going to say, hey, do I have permission to read this file? And you say yes. And if you're using the Windows version of Claude Code in the Windows like subsystem for Linux, it's the same thing. It's going to, if you drag the image in, you'll see the little file path. It will read from the file path there. So yeah. Also, if you're new to Claude Code, make sure you actually do have access to the web. So you have to explicitly tell the agent in Claude Code to use web to go do research for you. A couple of other keywords that you want to use, just to FYI while we're at this. So if you go to rayfernando.ai, I have some tips here, and I'm going to make a live stream about this, but this is getting the most from Claude Code in my blog post. If you click this here, I have a section here on like also what's saying like think harder. So these are 4 key terms that you may want to think about. You don't always have to use these, but this can actually help. I also tell you about like using the escape key, like compacting, the web access thing that we're talking about here, and also access to sub-agents. I don't know if I talk about sub-agents in this part 1, sub-agents. Yeah, I don't talk about sub-agents, but sub-agents is another type of technique that you can use to spread out your research or do searching through multiple files. So sub-agents will basically kick off with their own context windows. So that way you don't flood your context window and you can do research. And then the main agent that's kind of running at the top will collect the information from those sub-agents and then be able to come up with a comprehensive plan. So my favorite thing to do when I'm using Claude Code is start out with a planning mode, which is kind of what you saw me do a little bit earlier in this chat with this app that we're currently working on right now. I started out with plan mode, and then once I liked the plan, I just approved it. So that's basically writing its own plans. And I detail this on rayfernando.ai. Getting the most from Claude Code is definitely there. So human tokens win. Yes. Yeah, YTDLP, I think is going to be the thing there. Yeah. So let's see. Okay, so now it's actually going to, it's created some files and it's going to change into the directory and do some more stuff there. So basically, yeah, it's writing out a bunch of code here. This is pretty sweet in Claude Code. So create the project structure. It's going to implement the MCP server. Maybe by the end of this, it's basically going to be its own AGI. Wow. We're creating like a super intelligence thing in real time. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here all at once. I know this is kind of a crazy stream, but y'all signed up for this. Yeah. I love this stuff. I love using AI. It's so fun to be able to kind of cook live and do what we do here. So, all right. So dang, it already came back. All right. So I want you to make a YouTube scraper for the transcripts. The goal of this is to make an interface to scrape from my favorite podcasters and get a daily digest. So this is pretty cool. So it's going to fetch the latest videos using the channel's RSS feed. Doesn't require an API key. Extract the transcript ID requiring the internal endpoints and parsing the response. This relies on YouTube's undocumented internal endpoints, which could change at any time. Okay, so there is something here. This is for personal use. Respect YouTube's terms and services and don't abuse it for commercial scraping. Transcripts are derived from public data. Yeah, I might push this to the side. I'm not trying to get caught up. I'm actually on the YouTube platform as well. So if you wanted to take a look at this and you remember, I'll let you kind of like look at this. I'll put this in the Discord as well so you can take a look at it for personal use. And that's kind of be that there. So that's what's up. All right, cool. So let's just see how Grok is doing now for like an AI newsletter. We told it to provide a concise summary of the top 5 news stories from the past 24 hours, focusing on AI news, and basically kind of make our own custom newsletter here. So here is our top 5 AI news stories from the past 24 hours. Grok chatbot manipulated into praising this guy. And Perplexity launches Comet, an AI-powered web browser. U.S. Senator introduces AI liability legislation. BBC threatens legal action against Perplexity over content use. Surge in AI-generated child abuse videos reported. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. And here are all the news sources. And that's it. Okay. And those are the 13 web pages that it looked up. So I used all this compute for 1 minute and 47 seconds to search all of the internet, and it searched all of these articles from all these different news organizations. But I noticed I didn't give it any instructions to search like the forums or any like Twitter posts. It was literally just using top 5 news stories. So that's really interesting. So I think I want to see is like, how can I make this prompt better? Because you aren't really looking at maybe social media, perhaps on X, and what people are saying on social media. I don't know, like something like that. And so I want to see if it can actually help me improve this prompt so they can kind of leverage that type of thing. And so sometimes it's really useful to tell the language model to see if it can improve itself. It's like, how can you take this prompt and make it a little bit better? So as far as what I'm making right now, one of the things we're trying to do is try to see if we can create an MCP server. And so the MCP server was going to basically talk to us as like a text to speech. This is something that Tech Friend was talking about. It's like, if you're vibe coding, can it yell back at you when you're vibe coding and saying, hey, I have something important for you. And then we can kind of interact with it back and forth. So I just thought, why don't I just pull up Claude Code and have it do its thing? So I created a new workspace called Cooking, and it's created the repo with Claude Code. I just gave it the plan from Grok, and now Claude Code is going off and doing its thing. And now it actually wants to get this script and get it ready so that I can run it. So before, what's interesting that Claude Code doesn't show is it doesn't really show the contents of the script. And so I could be installing a virus and I could wipe out my entire computer if I run this shell script. And this is what I live for. So YOLO, guys. If the artificial superintelligence is taking over my computer, this is probably the last live stream I've ever had. So yeah, that's what's up. I do that all the time using Opus. I put together a prompt and ask it to make it better. Yeah, that's definitely the way to do it. Can you see my comment about the flash loans and arbitrage? I'm actually interested about the results. I'll have to see if I can look back. I'm kind of like, I have so many comments right now to go back. I'm trying to see if I can find my members and see what they're saying. Curious what kind of CPU power you're hauling to run so many instances of Grok 4. Safari in my iMac gives up after 2 tabs of O3. That's it. Let's see. There is a command that I can run that will basically show me. I totally forgot. Oh, ASI top. Okay. We do ASI. I think it's ASI top. And you'll see. So I'm basically running an M4, like max, like everything. So with my M4 machine, I'm live streaming right now and I'm doing everything, but you don't really need that beefy of a machine because this is literally just a web process. But just as the FYI, I didn't realize this. I'm using 78 gigs of RAM. I have 128 gigs of RAM because I'm doing live streaming and because I code live and like I could be running language models as well. Like that's a lot of memory that I'm using. And you can see my CPU usage from the efficiency cores is 100%. And the performance cores are currently maxed out also at 100%. And then my GPU usage is at 80%, while my Apple Neural Engine is just at 0. So I am so cooking with my machine right now. It is beyond crazy. I had no clue. But we're having a smooth stream, right? I mean, like, this is kind of why I had to pay for like the top tier machine, because I want to do live streams like this. And it's literally doing all the encoding, decoding, everything. And then I'm streaming to 4 platforms. So I'm streaming to YouTube. I'm streaming directly to Twitch. I'm streaming to X. I'm streaming to LinkedIn. And so all of those are kind of getting all the love right now. And yeah, this type of operation is just killer right now. So right now, so it's having some problems, right? So it says alternative requires internet. Okay, so create some test script. Okay, so let's check the project structure that we've created. Okay, so it's just going to verify again. So it's just verifying everything. And then I wanted to see if it can configure itself into my MCP server. It did. Oh. So now it's going to remove the file. Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Just bought a new laptop, Asus ROG Flow Z13, crazy machine. Yo. Yeah, $300 a month is insane for this this thing, but we'll see. Okay, I've implemented your text-to-speech MCP server with several enhancements. So it's created multiple tools. So we have a speak update, speak with priority, speak with notifications, and queue message. Proper async handling. Dang, we got a full-blown MCP server. Damn, give me that machine. I'm here with a maxed out air. You're going to need all that RAM, buddy. Internet-based project Tomo with all the dependencies. Okay, so navigate to the project, run the installation script, configure Claude Code desktop with this example, hello, and then use TTS notifier to speak. Okay, can you help me configure this to run in Claude Code? I'm basically asking Claude Code to see if it can configure itself for itself. Yes. This is a little bit Inception, but I'm really curious. I don't know if you were here for my live stream a couple days ago or 3 or 4 days ago. Oh, it's one of my first live streams. I think July 1st or July 2nd on hooks. If you haven't seen that, definitely go watch that. Somewhere in the video links, I'm going to try to add one of these cards that float around, you know. Basically what happened there was Claude Code wrote hooks, and these hooks are little shell scripts that are running before like it does a tool call or does something. And I was writing a rule to have it like basically not generate a bunch of code that it doesn't need to do. And what ended up happening while I was writing to a file, it said, hey, this code is too restrictive. I can't run my own code. And then it went into that file and changed its own rules so that it can actually do whatever it wanted to do. So like that was the first time that the AI low-key overstepped its boundary. And I was just kind of laughing like, ha ha ha, look at this. And then in the background, I'm like, yo, these things are really taking over. But it is what it is. I'm not trying to be scary here for no reason. We're going to figure this out. All right. So what it's going to go ahead and do is now try to read this support file. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So this implementation includes all the features. Okay. To run with Claude Desktop. Oh, actually, no. Can you check the web to see how we can run this with Claude Code in the terminal? Yeah. So I just kind of hit escape and I stopped it. I'm just going to giving it additional instructions here. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Grok 4 so far? Just got in here. Not worth the $300 a month. I could tell you that right off the bat. Like, if you're doing like financial research or something like that, and you're trying to ask for public opinion, you kind of also have to direct it and say, I want, opinion from X or what people are talking about publicly. And it looks like it does have some type of Reddit API type of scraper thing. I didn't get a lot of comments from X, which I was kind of expecting it to grab, as far as like stock tickers and things. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure this out myself. I wouldn't use this for coding either, because for coding, apparently the coding model is supposed to be dropping in the next couple of months or so, and that's supposed to be fine-tuned for that. As far as planning and things, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do probably very shortly is to see if I can pull up repo prompt and have it look through my code base, and then try to see if it can generate some architecture diagrams for us, which would be really interesting for the Grok 4 thinking, right? So that will be basically utilizing a code base, utilizing some prompting, and seeing if it can kind of reason through those types of things right now before we get the coding model, right? So it's one thing to generate code, but it's another thing to leverage the intelligence of the model, which could be pretty much in there right now. And the way that I can do that, to copy and paste code bases, the easiest thing is just going to be from repo prompt. And if you want to learn more about repo prompt, that's something we talked about yesterday. Eric dropped a coupon code, and that coupon code is currently in the video description from yesterday's video. You can get 15% off. I think it's just like Ray VIP 15 or Ray Summer 15 or something like that, or Ray Fernando 15. If you're thinking about doing that, by the way. So yeah. Oh, whoa. Okay. So what we're going to go ahead and do, it's just going to look through the documentation for that. And so why don't we do that right now? Okay. So we're going to grab repo prompt and let's just go ahead and pop it open. And so with repo prompt, I want to just go ahead and start a new workspace or something like that. New manage workspaces. Let's see. Oh, this was like an old plan that I had. Let me just kind of get rid of this text mate and then put this down here. This is for a thing. Okay. So I wanted to take a look at one of my previous apps here. So this is one of my apps that I have there. And then I'm going to go ahead and what did I do here at this time? User creation scattered. Oh, this is just implementing a plan from an engineer standpoint. So I think what I want to go ahead and do is maybe see if I can have it do some, like, this is an engineering prompt. And here are the convex rules that I have. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is make sure that the window's correctly sized so that we can kind of take a look at some things and we're going to kind of try to cook. So the prompt that I want to use is the architect prompt because I want to act like an AI architect. And then I'll try to feed it through one of the plans I had for Claude Code and see if it can kind of do a review of my implementation and see if this is the best way to do it. And so I'm going to feed it in. So this is my current app. So this is Ray Transcribes for those who don't know. So raytranscribes.com. If you go here, basically, this is basically, I'm basically able to get like audio files and stuff transcribed and do it pretty much at lightning speed. And the whole goal is to try to see if I can get my transcripts available to put into YouTube videos so that people can, upload them. And then what that ends up happening, I discovered, is that fact that you get discovered pretty quickly, especially with trending topics. So it's really, really cool if you become an established creator and start to kind of do these things, because it pretty much puts you on the map and puts you to be like SEO friendly. And this could be your next big break. I do have a coupon code and I totally forgot what it is, but I know it's in the description for the YouTube video for people to try this out. I basically give you 20 bucks off. And I think it's like Ray VIP 20 or something like that. If you do check out and try it out. So with that, I'm going to see if I can get my app in here and try to give it all the context I can. So I basically have the thing that I'm interested in doing is I have the file tree. I'm just going to do auto. And then I don't think I need I'll do the code map as well, auto. And I have the architect prompt. So this is going to act like a senior architect specializing in like code design. And then I'm going to see if I can have it generate, let's see these are all my components. So I have some sidebar hooks. I'm just going to give it all of the code. This is about 225,000 tokens so far. I have a checkout page. I have an API route as well. And this is 30K tokens. And then I have an admin page, account page. Let's see. I also have more hooks here for checkout. I also have a invite code page and some schemas. And then I have some payment related things, stuff related to sign in. And then I have a convex provider. I may or may not need that, but yes, 42,000. Okay, I'm just feeding up the tokens here. Let's see, it does need to know about the layout, the page, and the types. And what else does it need to know? What other components should I give it? I have the UI stuff that is just this is ShadCN UI, so I don't necessarily need to give it to it. It will have it in the file tree or the code map. And so that way it'll kind of be aware of those functions, but it doesn't necessarily need that. And then for convex, I'll give it everything except for the generated. I don't think I need these files. And as far as documentation, I'm basically doing a convex only. I'm going to refactor it to do the convex only transcriptions. So as of now, I have like a couple different things that are going on in my app. I'm doing some processes in the browser on the client side, and then I'm doing some stuff with like Next.js route handling that requires a node server on Cloudflare. I found out that I can do some of that magic and keep it all within convex. So I could just literally, once the client side processing is done, I could just hand that off to convex and the user can leave and come back and all the status updates and everything will be all reactive. So I was doing a lot of fancy tricks because my initial prototype was done using Next.js. But now that I've kind of evolved and I'm getting some users, I was like, okay, I want to actually make this a real thing. And so as a true engineer, you don't have an app until you rewrite it again. And that's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of one of those senior engineering jokes, but yeah, I'm a senior and I'm an engineer. So, okay, public, what other files do I need to give it? I have a Claude MD file, why not? And then middleware file, and then what other things I need to give it? Oh, package.json is really important. Okay, cool. So these are all the files I need, and this is 95,000 tokens. And so the instructions I want to give it is, I want to get, let's see, the name of this file, copy relative path. Okay. And here's what I'm going to do. My goal is to implement the following plan. Actually, what I wanted to do is just give it the relative path. Yeah. Relative path. And here we go. All right. In documentation structure, I want you to review all of my code and see what parts we may need to refactor to make this implementation as clean as possible. And then I have an optimization rules file, so I want to make sure if I can find that here. So in order to search for files, I can type in optimization. And so I actually have an optimization principles file, and this is kind of what I do want to reference. So I want to give it this, and then here, quick reference. Yeah. So I'm going to copy relative path here. Okay. I have principles outlined here. And then there we go. And so right now, just to kind of summarize for those who are doing and what we're going to get into right now and what I've been doing here is basically I'm using repo prompt to grab my code, and the amount of files that I've grabbed is about 98,000 tokens down here. And we're going to use the power of Grok Heavy to see how good it is at like architecting apps. We don't have the coding model, and I don't expect this to do pretty well, but I'm going to give this to Grok Heavy to see if you can use that additional thinking to maybe see if it does output something interesting, right? The only reason why I think I'm pretty hopeful about this is because repo prompt is really good at copying the code, keeping it into a structure while keeping the instructions visible for the model to kind of chew on for a long time. And so the additional bonus here is that we're not only going to do this, but we're also going to throw it into O3 Pro, throw it into O3, and then throw it into everything as much as possible to see who's going to win here. Claude Opus. Why not, right? So let's just go ahead and see all at the same time. This is a really good test. So like this is a pretty extensive code test. This is a massive prompt, and we'll see how it cooks. So go to Grok. If you're going to pay $300 a month, why not take advantage? Paste. Oh, come on. Okay, cool. I thought the paste was not going to work. So this is the entire prompt. Massive. So it has a file tree, a file map of everything that's in my repo. So it's not going to hallucinate stuff. It's got like the actual files in here, which is awesome. It's got everything. It's got all of my success, like all of the markdown instructions, everything. And at the very end, this is basically the prompt, right? We're going to use Grok Heavy. Got web search enabled. We got this one enabled. So let's just hit let it go. So this is massive. We're going to see it cook and see if it errors out on us, right? Cool. So this will be really interesting to see it chew on all of this stuff. And I don't know. I'm really curious to see how good this is at coding, right? So is it that good yet? Is it not? We will find out. We will find out very, very fast. ChatGPT. Let's go load up ChatGPT now. So we're going to give the same prompt to O3 Pro, literally paste and go. So O3 Pro was able to take that like a champ. I used to have a lot of issues pasting in large prompts like this, but it looks like they actually fixed it. Thank goodness. Hopefully. Bruh. The message you submitted was too long. Please edit and resubmit. ChatGPT. Let's see if I can. An update's available. Okay. So I'm going to try to see if I can use ChatGPT, the app, and see if it can kind of give me a better result. So I'm going to hit ChatGPT, O3 Pro, and see if I can do that here. Whoops. So here we go. And go. Why? So they don't let me type in that long of a prompt, huh? That's some weak sauce. I'm going to give... Okay, so I'm going to do a new prompt saying, I'm going to give you a large prompt, but it's broken up into 2 sections. Let me know when you're ready for the first section. And then once you get the first section, you're going to acknowledge that. And then I'll give you the second section. Oh, this is O3 Pro. So it's going to be like reasoning through. Oh man, I don't think this is going to work the way I was thinking about it. So I'm going to do another chat window. ChatGPT. I'm going to do ChatGPT O3. Oh, this is such a L. I'm paying like a bunch of money for this. And it's like, okay, so let me make sure I have this kind of here. All right. So this is our mega prompt. And then this is the thing that took too long. And then here is this. And then I'm going to copy this one and then put it into here. So at least with ChatGPT O3, it'll immediately tell me like a response. And then I'm just going to basically just kind of go through this text file. So this is 12,537 lines for the prompt. And then I'm just going to go into the middle of this file here and let's do this. So it says, okay, cool. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go ahead and copy. It says, go ahead and drop it. Cool. Here we go. Go. And then in here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is then give it the second line. Perfect. Whoops. Here we go. All right, so now it's got the first section, and I'm gonna do the second section here. Go. So ideally I would use O3 Pro, which would be so fire. So that's interesting. That's a major L. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, so considering section 2, so we'll see. We'll see what's gonna do. So Grok is like too much information for me to digest all at once. You know, sometimes less is more. What? Bro, I'm paying you $300 a month. And you're going to come at me with this? It's not even 100K tokens, bro. Get out of here with this. This is like 97K tokens. And then you're going to like complain at me like this, like you know somebody? Let's go to Claude Sonnet. I bet you Claude nails this, bro. I bet you right now. Don't play with me. Do not play with me. Let's go copy, paste. We're going to do Opus because I am on the max plan and we're just going, we're maxing. We're so maxing right now. I pasted this in and I've like almost broke my browser. Like right now it's struggling because I have all this in here. I'm just going to go. Let's go. Claude has no chill. Claude Opus 4, when I'm paying him the bag, this is $200 a month. This is not an advertisement for any of these platforms, by the way. Anthropic, if you want to partner up with me, let's have a chat because I love your products right now. And paying $200 a month is expensive, but your output is really, really good. And I'd love to partner with you. I'm serious. Like, look at this. Look at this. You guys are cooking. Cooking. I'm not sponsored by any of these people. Cooking. What is this wizardry that is Claude? This Claude thing. Oh my God. Does anyone know anyone over there at the Opus family, at the Anthropic family? Because I'm serious. Like this partnership needs to have happened like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like this is ridiculous. I'm changing into the dark mode, by the way. So that way we can get this going here. And hopefully I didn't lose my chat because it looks like I might have lost the chat. Maybe I did lose the chat. Oh, here we go. Okay, still writing itself. Okay. I just wanted to make it dark mode so that way everyone can kind of get it going. This is ridiculous. Let's see if I can make this bigger. Oh my goodness. Claude Opus. Claude Opus. You came through. You came through at a time when Grok 4 says, "Daddy, chill." Literally. Look at this. Too much information for me to digest. You know, sometimes less is more. Nah, fam. I paid you $300 a month, and this is Grok 4 heavy. Get some balls, grow a pair, and cook. I said, nah. Let's go. Let's see if it still complains. And if Grok 4 does not put out, my friends. Nah, man. Like, we can't be doing this right now. Come on. So what's the verdict? Claude Code? I mean, all day right now. All day. I would take Claude Code twice. I'd pay $400 a month. I'm not going to say that. I did say that out loud. Dang. Okay. Anthropic, please do not up the price to $400 a month because there's no way these people would be able to pay for that intelligence. Not even myself. I value your product. It is extremely good, as we're seeing here in this live stream. And hopefully Grok 4 pulls through. Ask Claude to shorten this strong with white rules. I feel like there are enough competent models out there that we can just all toss Grok and call it a day. All right, so speaking of competent models, one of the ones I want to talk about is AI Studio. So I forgot all about this. Everyone keeps talking about this, and I haven't really enjoyed using Google's models, to be honest, because they're so untruthful that it's like really turned me off. But I do have to give it diligence because we're actually testing this model, and I want to give an unbiased opinion. Sometimes free is good and sometimes free is not. So I'm going to paste this prompt in here as we have it. All of those thousands of lines, you can see it's 1,003 tokens, FYI. And then let's just go ahead and see what's going to happen here. So we have just the default settings for Gemini 2.5 Pro. This is going to cost me a bag, but y'all are worth it. Y'all are with us right now. Everyone's crying with me, laughing with me, dying with me right now. And yes, Anthropic's servers are probably melting down as we speak right now. I swear. I hope Claude Code doesn't go to 300. I don't know about these folks, man. I've seen this drug deal story before. For O3 Pro, try attaching a file with all of the code and only the user prompt block in the text input box of the chat. So I can attach a file, right? So I think that's a really interesting idea, Dan. So let me see if I can try that and see if it doesn't complain about my file, right? So like try attaching. I'm also curious on if the output would be really interesting, because are they doing just a RAG output on the actual file and not actually reading the file for what it is? I'm going to see if I can try that technique out. So yeah, basically put my prompt into a file and then just keep the user prompt in the text box. So let's go ahead and see if we can try to do that right now. So I'm going to do text mate, and then I already have this in here. So as a file, what I'm going to go ahead and do is take these user instructions out. And I'm going to save this as mega prompt.txt, save, and then I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and then see if I can hit a new O3 Pro. And then I'm going to add the file from the add files, right? And then I'm going to go to my desktop, should be the latest one. Great. And then I'm going to paste in the user instructions, which are here, just like this, because that'll keep the delineation of the tags, because there's already tags in my text file here. Dan, thank you for this tip, by the way. That was a really good idea. And we're just going to go ahead and see if O3 Pro doesn't complain. Right? Hopefully. Let's kind of see what it's thinking about, if you know what it's thinking about. All right, so it's examining the file. Okay, so I think it is reading through all of its things. Cool. Dude, Dan, that was an awesome heads up on that. Yeah. So, all right. All right, cool, man. There's so many comments to keep up with right now. It's really hard to kind of catch up. All right, so we're letting it do its thing. We've been using repo prompt. Claude Sonnet was cooking with the pot boy. And all I'm doing, by the way, is I'm just doing an architecture prompt. So the whole prompt and everything, that all the song and dance, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to get an architecture opinion from these language models to see how they can kind of review my code, make it better. I have a bunch of rules files. I have a bunch of documentation. I have a bunch of everything everywhere. Obviously, this isn't a massive code base because it's only 100,000 tokens. And let's just see what it's thinking about for this architecture plan. So I generate this architecture plan using Claude Code, and this Claude Code thing is here, and we're seeing its own opinion on this plan, reviewing all of the code files. So it has like my infrastructure is already in place. I already have some architecture on the client side and for state management. And then here's like the API stuff that needs to basically retry its thing here. So here are the existing convex functions, not create new ones. So that is actually part of the instructions I have for my optimization principles, which I will tell you a little bit more and where to find that a little bit later in this live stream. So it's following that, which is really nice. So it's convex/transcriptions. Current state already has job tracking infrastructure extension plan, which is great. So I basically have to add this code to the existing file. And then here's some file storage instructions. So add to the existing files as well for the mutation, and then add client hook, minimal changes. Reuse existing patterns. So for like rate limiting, don't create a new rate limit system. Look at existing patterns. So this is incorrect because Convex has a new thing called components. So Convex components are basically individual pieces of code that are written. And so all I have to do is just get that from Convex and apply it here. I think this is because it's just being really strict about rules, but this is why I want to review these plans and see what's going on. Real-time updates using the existing query system, which is really good. So I'm basically just asking for a job and seeing what's going on. So it says what not to create. Based on the optimization principles, do not create file storage. Add storage functions to here. I don't know. For me, I like to have a specific file that does specific functions. So if I need to go update it, I can go reference it. I'm that type of guy. I don't like having lots of lines of code to scroll through. It's just easier. And the second part is that not only is it easier for you to review code like an update, for debugging, whenever you have a crash trace, it's going to tell you like where in the stack it is and like what specific file or where it's referenced from. So those are easier to trace through as well. The other part of it is language models eat up a lot of context. So if you feed it 1,000-line file, you're already seeing how much we're kind of having headaches with O3, right? Feeding it all these files. But if you have like individual files you select, the models can be really smart about getting those files. So it's possible that my optimization rules are kind of overly aggressive, and it's actually my own fault, right? This is literally, this is not the fault of the models. It actually is following my instructions, FYI. Don't create new rate limits. Don't create new subscription. To be honest, I'd rather have it be overly aggressive and have me like review this myself. Don't rewrite the entire hook, modify the API call. Okay, this is really cool. So here's the optimized implementation about how I should basically do this plan that's outlined. And the proposal was about 500 lines of code, 150 lines of new modifications. This is really cool. All right. It's even telling me about the path, reuse existing subscriptions. This is very detailed. Opus definitely cooked. Let's see O3. It's still kind of running its own thing. Did Grok ever wake up from its slumber? It's running for 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I am burning down the house over there right now with this prompt. The thing that I didn't like at the beginning is the fact that I'm paying $300 a month, and then it wasted all that energy to be like, daddy, chill. Bro, I'm paying you $300 a month. Don't be telling me this stuff. Yeah. Okay. So it's still cooking. This is pretty interesting. I don't know how accurate these like agents scrolling things are, but we'll see. Yeah. What code editor is that you had open a few seconds ago? Oh, so the one I think everyone's talking about here it's called repo prompt. So repo prompt is something that was architected by Eric, and I had him on yesterday's show talking about it. We didn't really do any demos because he has a new thing with MCP servers and a bunch of other stuff that's going on. So I'm going to be doing some more streams kind of utilizing it. This is a really good time to actually use the app and show you the intelligence of something like this, because you can actually get that type of thing. So Grok 4 is decent at generating systems code for me. It seems to have better real-time market data. That's interesting. Yeah, we'll see what happens when this completes. Okay, so when we try to submit it to OpenAI O3 Pro as a single prompt in text, it's too long. But if you do it as, let's see, in O3, I basically try to feed it 2 different prompts and to stitch it together as one. And it looks like it did do something. It thought for 10 seconds, but it just totally lost itself. Like, this is not a complete answer that I was looking for. You can see how kind of, it's basically just taking a look at the most recent text and saying, yeah, this is what you should do. And it totally lost its brain. I feel like this is like a brain dead, thing. So I can't do like feed it in 2 prompts and see if I can do that type of thing with O3. I'm really curious how this is going to turn out following the rules here. So O3 Pro just came back, and it looks like it actually has like some big picture gaps here. So this is like the file upload processing. Here's a client hook. It's talking about my schema. Here are like some concrete so this is pretty much looking like it's similar to what Claude Opus did for us. It's even talking about the rewrite, rate limiting, cleanup docs, implementation order for the safe rollout. So add these, add the file mutations, code quality checkpoints. So I'm having the models act like architects right now. They're not implementing any code. They're literally just giving me the high levels. As far as what plans I would pick, I would probably pick the one from Claude Opus. It was extremely thorough and extremely detailed in a very good way. And even though it was overly aggressive in terms of actually following the rules that I had stated for my optimization principles, I feel like it did, like as just a really quick high level summary while being here on the stream, it did that very, very well. If you're curious about where to find that, you can just go to github.com/RayFernando1337. And in here, I actually have a repo called LLM Cursor Rules. And so in my LLM Cursor Rules, I know I started this when I was using Cursor. It's kind of stuck, and a lot of people use it all the time now. I have one called Optimization Principles. In Optimization Principles, here, this was something that came out of my live stream because I had Claude Code make this for me. And these optimization principles are like a philosophy that I use so that LLMs don't try to be generating a lot of code that you don't need. Claude Sonnet likes to make extra functions for you. It likes to be very aggressive about just generating new code to satisfy its requirements to exit as fast as possible. And so in this type of prompt, if you go to raw, you'll actually see all of the instructions that I have labeled here that it will follow so that it can not be so overly aggressive. So I don't use this as an everyday prompt. It's not in every request. I will do a / command to invoke it, or sometimes I would drag the file in, as we saw there, and reference it in one of the prompts so it can do like a second pass at it. So just an FYI, this is that thing there. You can find that on my repo. If you like it, definitely give it a star as far as like the repo and stuff. This is super duper helpful. I know people have been using it so far and they find it super helpful. I have a bunch of other things like from marketing, productivity, and other types of prompts. I have one for Tailwind V4. I also have one on rayfernando.ai. It's also one here. It's called Fire Your Design Team. That was a really spicy post on X, but a million views later, or almost a million views later, it's just some basic design principles on that you can feed back in. So this is something you can do is like after you have an LLM generate code, you can pass it in this prompt, and this prompt will basically optimize it so it follows like a really good rule set. And so this is my design principles. You can take your own design principles and apply them to you. This is something that I learned through watching some YouTube videos about like how you can do some like web design principles. And especially if you're using Shadcn with Tailwind UI, you basically have this like scaffolded system that makes it easy to programmatically go through and look through your code and apply these types of changes. And guess what? LLMs are really good at understanding what all this stuff means and applying it to your code. So even if you don't really understand, you can basically just get a lot of consistency by using the new Tailwind V4 with Shadcn and following these basic principles like font sizes and weights. You can say, I want an 8-point grid system. I want a specific color ruling. So that way my UIs are pretty like on point. It's not going to make super crazy 3D beautiful stuff for you, but you'll have a lot of visual hierarchy and things that kind of make it easier for your viewers' eyes to be pleased without them, complaining and stuff. I know, my bad. I know, like it's the light mode, dark mode thing. I forgot about that. Have you tried Perplexity for real-time market stuff? Curious about the benchmarking against Grok? No, I do need to sign up for a Perplexity Pro account. I'm kind of at my limit with all these things, especially with their new browser and stuff. So yeah, what are the LLM rules? Could you summarize them? Oh, we need that from me. Yes. There's more. I'd say just Curtis, if you want to become a member, hit me up on the Discord. I'll probably be able to chat some more or whatever your interest is on that. So could you share a link for those rules.md in the GitHub? Let me see if I can pop that into the chat right now. I know, sorry, my bad. And so that way I don't hurt people's eyes right now. I know people's eyes are bleeding. Okay, here we go. So I'll pop this into the chat. You should be able to. Oh, X does not allow me to put this. The chat is only showing it up in. Oh man, that's such a bummer. So yeah, if you see this right now, screenshot it and see if you can go there, so that you can get those cursor rules there. For those who are asking as well. Also, if you are a member and you support me, I'm going to go ahead and put this into the Discord as well. And so as a member, you get access to the Discord. And so far, I have a lot of the running chats and things that we've been doing here. And for the people who have been able to ask me in there as well. So yeah, I'm almost getting ready to finish up my stream. So yeah, for those who want to ask me any more questions, feel free to do that right now. And then I could see if I can ask Grok some more questions so that we can do that type of thing there. So yeah, for those, let me see if I can invite my friend here to the Discord. And once I get him in, I'll get him all set up here. Let's see. Let me just kind of catch up. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been doing here. I have ADHD, as you probably can imagine. I've never really been officially checked, but I probably should. I know a lot of comments have been saying I'm all over the place. So I appreciate your patience in being able to flow with me here. I get really excited with technology and I love to use this stuff. So if this is something that you're all about as well, definitely feel free to subscribe. Hit the thumbs up for the like things. Sharing goes a really long way, obviously. And a big shout outs to all my paying members and people who've been able to support me. I really appreciate everyone who's been able to even just sign up today. My goal is to get to my first 100 members. This is something new that I'm doing. I'm basically trying to live stream every single day for the summer to showcase this is my summer of streaming. And I'm trying to, as anything is happening, I'm doing a lot of coding with AI. I'm trying to use AI to help me gain freedom and trying to get the most out of these language models. I'm hoping that one of these types of plans that I can kind of come up with and start testing can actually yield some revenue for me. And I'm first just trying to automate some problems I have in my life. And you're going to basically watch me stumble through using these AI models to code with me, but also feel like I can, make some apps and make some money with this. And so with that, yeah, you don't feel all over the place. To me, speaks ADHD. Yeah. That's what's up. So yeah, I get very excited. So we did some, I guess to kind of summarize, if you're just coming in right now, you're trying to figure out, okay, is Grok 4 Heavy worth the $300 a month? Is it not? Where do we stand with this Ray Fernando? What is the deal here? Am I going to pay $300 a month? I just did. Should you pay for it? If I didn't know about this and I'm watching Ray Fernando's live stream all over again from scratch, I probably wouldn't be paying that. I would be paying $200 a month towards that Claude Max plan because I do a lot of coding with AI and I feel like that's going to be worth it for me. As far as like that leftover $100, I would just somehow get another $200 and just put into ChatGPT Pro, like the Pro plan, maybe the O3 model, or just take that $100 a month and put it towards the Pro plan for O3. Just use the O3 model to get ideas. Like the O3 is so good at web search. I prefer O3 as opposed to Perplexity. And the biggest reason why I stopped using Perplexity because I find the search results from ChatGPT's O3 model to be extremely good. So in this bucket of money of like things that I'm throwing at, I'm throwing $20 a month at Cursor for the Pro plan. That allows me to use all the models there. I have like some money going to the O3 model for ChatGPT. Having the memories feature as well is super important and that you get that with that $20 a month plan from ChatGPT. The $200 a month for the Claude Max plan, being able to use Opus freely like that to review my plans and do the stuff on the web using Claude Code. We basically had it generate an MCP server as well. Super awesome. I didn't have to worry about any limits. I don't have any anxiety. I can code as much as I want. I got repo prompt in the bag as well. Repo prompt will allow me to get these types of prompts and structure them and put them in this way. It's kind of also how I actually prototype building with these apps and products. So like I prototype my prompts in repo prompt. I'll show you something maybe before we head out of the live stream of like, as the final thing of like maybe how I get my transcripts and try to get timestamps from them afterwards, because that's a pretty big part of my workflow as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of a big summary of where we stand right now and kind of where I would be spending my money. We covered a lot of things as far as like real-time data for stock analysis. That was an interesting and novel use case. I don't know if Grok 4 Heavy will get us extra oomph there for our buck. I think Grok 4 regular can probably get us that because of the capability to grab that information in real time. I know that Lisa was talking about Perplexity, and it actually has its own financial research things, because that would be an interesting one to compare against, Grok 4 versus that one. It's possible that Perplexity could even just fill that gap for us if you're probably somebody who's working with like a lot of financial documents or doing a lot of financial research. So you can probably combine the intelligence of some of these two models from there. As far as like writing code, that code model will not yet be available until later on. And I think the video model as well will not be available till much later on as well. So that's going to be coming down the pipeline for Grok for Super Grok for Heavy. Yes, so the Heavy basically gets you the additional compute, which basically runs 4 agents right now, and we'll kind of come back with some results. And as far as coding, yeah, TBD, that type of thing. Yeah, let's see if it finished yet with the... I have some really sad news, guys. I have some really sad news. Oh man, this is so painful. Grok 4, I actually want it to do something for me that's useful. It says too much information. It's like, daddy chill. I was like, no, I'm paying you money. We told Grok 4, we gave it basically 103 tokens plan. It says, no, I can't really do it. We told it to like, yes, you can really do it. It thought for 13 more minutes. I burned GPUs for 13 minutes and 39 seconds. And all it came back with after that long ass time of waiting, you saw this live on stream. This is not uncut. XAI's Grok 4 Heavy model with $300 a month. Get out of here, bro. Are we doing this, fam? What? You're gonna take that long ass time to do this? To just come back at me, be like, yo, what happened to the plan? It's like, bruh. Elon Musk, fix your stuff, man. Like, this is not. This no. Bro got HD. Right? Like, how? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's catch up a little bit with AI Studio. So I know I gave AI Studio a lot of flack, but for this many tokens, I'm paying a lot less. And look at what it did. All right, so this is from Gemini. So Gemini 2.5 Pro, we fed it in that 103 tokens, 103,000 tokens. It thought for an extensive long time. I'm showing all the thinking there, right? 64 seconds later with all those massive TPUs and things. Hopefully I have a dark mode. I don't have a dark mode, so sorry for those who are actually watching this and see the flashbang, but it is what it is right now. We're kind of, we are, wow, 2 hours deep into the stream. Okay. Architectural implementation plan. It did a really nice detailed architect plan here. This is a really great structure. Wow. I don't think it followed the rules for using less code, but I'll take it. It broke everything down into phases, and it felt like it still needs to go some more. So to me, it started, but I feel like I need more from this plan. This was a good start. Can you continue with more details? So yeah, I mean, this is why Claude Opus is just the GOAT right now, because that's why I signed up for that $200 a month plan. Claude Code, Opus, website, everything. It cooks. Yeah, I mean, for the price for Google, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I just that's why we do these things. We're trying to code with AI live, and oh, of course, let me expand on the initial plan with granular detail. Okay, great. So all it is doing is now just writing out more code. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. I wouldn't do this here, but yeah, it's okay. Let's assume you have a mutation to link them all in one place. So Google likes to do this. Google's model likes to sound really smart when it writes code. And it could actually be really messy, but it basically says, I know what your final outcome is, and then let me just go ahead and create a whole bunch of stuff in between, and then try to justify it with some of the comments and things. And a lot of times the code isn't really clean. It's just kind of all over the place. And I wouldn't necessarily trust it. So clean up the hook, do these types of things, remove this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly where I want to go eventually, but I'm surprised it took it this long to figure it out. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of places in the code that it completely missed for this refactor. And this will probably take a lot of iterations with Google Gemini Pro for me to kind of get it to where I really want it to go. In the meantime, we just keep piling up the requests for the input and the output as far as token count. And it's like, yeah. All right, cool. Did our Grok thing finish, by the way? Bro, if it comes back like 15 minutes later and just be like, no. I swear to God, this is so ridiculous. Oh man. I need to screenshot this. I'm going to screenshot this. This is going to go viral on X. I swear. I'm going to post this right now. This is too dumb. This is so dumb. I'm so disappointed right now. I'm like, I'm not furious. I'm more shocked, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, this does not discount. I feel like I want to give a big shout out to the people who are working on these AI models. This is not an easy task, by the way. For me to do this, like there is some like entertainment value from it, to use it and to be a first type of person and give this reaction as I'm testing it live is pretty fun. But like being on the other side of this, I used to be an engineer working on these products. You would work for like crazy amounts of hours. You know, there'd be like, I worked for 2 years plus straight, literally every single day on the Saturdays, on Sundays, like 10 plus hours a day, including Christmas, including New Year's. You know, like I worked on the Apple Watch project, right? So like my job was to figure out over the air updates so that they would work, because if they did not work, they could not leave the factory. So if you push out 1 million watches and they can't update, every single watch would have had to been recalled, and that would have been on me. And I cannot tell you how stressful that is. And I'm surprised that I'm still alive. You know what I mean? It worked, which is great. But like you put in all this effort and then someone uses the product and they're like, oh, it doesn't update. Oh, how horrible. How did the person not think of this really obscure issue that happens? And sometimes that stuff can happen in production. So I want to give that disclaimer as well. It's like, there are people on the other side who develop these products. You may not like a certain person or whoever is doing this type of thing, but real humans like you and me, who are engineers, who are in charge of very small components or specific pieces, do work on these products. And they work really hard, and they should actually be acknowledged as well. And sometimes they don't really get the spotlight for this type of thing. Only their leader or the director who's doing it. But likely it's some nerd in the corner who's been going crazy for hours and hours on end to make the product work. And if it doesn't work like it's advertised, then, it's just really easy to kind of throw everyone under the bus. And that's actually not my intention here. So I want to add this as a disclaimer. If you are watching and you kind of think that like, oh, haha, this is like not working. This type of post for me is just to kind of put something out there, kind of for fun. And it's not necessarily meant to bring people down. This is just kind of like being, like, hey, like, look what I just did. Look at this bug that I just hit. It's kind of funny. X/Twitter tends to be a very reactive environment. So people like to repost things that are kind of what they call bait-like. And this is the type of bait that they love to share and repost, especially if you're paying $300 a month. So this is kind of like what I'm going to do right now. So you get the inside baseball on this little like type of funny thing. So we'll see. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. So just paid $300 a month for this. What the fuck? What the Funyun? So let's see. Grok. Let's see. Super Grok for didn't cook, fam. Or no, I think I'll just leave it like this. Just pay 300. I think this speaks volumes by itself. Hopefully. Yeah. Post. GG. Like, how is it going to think for like, I think I'm going to add some more context. I tried to have it analyze my code base and it thought for a brief moment and told me no. And then I tried to follow it up and it thought for 13 more seconds and it just didn't give me anything. So let's see if it finishes its little thing here. Oh, did it not type it? My thing? Okay. Testing 1, 2. Okay. I tried to have it analyze my code base and then it refused. Then I did a follow-up, as you can see there, and it thought for 13 minutes plus, and it still failed to give me the answer. And so this is just kind of providing more context for this post for people. So yeah, you can already see the likes and the comments are already going to start piling up and people are going to go crazy for this. Hey, I want to appreciate you really making this live stream. It helped me decide I'm only going to pay the $30 a month, and really cool to hear from your perspective. Yeah, man. I'm so glad that people are actually kind of watching this here and trying to understand, whether this is something for them or not. For me, yeah, looking at this again, my priorities are going to be, because I'm a engineer and I like to code. So Claude Code, putting my money in, I'm pretty much all in on that already. So that's really great. ChatGPT, you have to have the Pro at least with the memories, because I use that so frequently. Like, this long-standing memories thing is just too good. Getting access to the O3 model is really great. If you're doing anything in the financial space, which I like to do from time to time, to do those types of research, I would probably just take a look at Perplexity's offering, like Lisa was saying earlier in the chat. So Perplexity has their own thing for financial research and real-time data. That'll probably work really well. I know that Grok 4 was advertising the poly markets and stuff, and that's something that I currently don't work in. So if you want to check that out, maybe want to check out some other creators in the space that are kind of doing that. As far as code and like coding models, that type of thing will be dropping a little bit later from Grok. So in the coming months, they're going to have a coding model that's supposed to be really good. We're definitely going to be looking at that in this chat, and hopefully it doesn't barf like the way it has been doing right here. And yeah, that's kind of like that thing. And video model stuff was also supposed to be dropping a little bit later in its timeline. So that's what's up. And then as far as like coming up with novel ideas and things, it's okay. I feel like O3 Pro is really good at doing research too. And its research was able to come up with some really banger ideas for MCPs and workflows. So the ideas we ended up using were from basically O3 and O3 Pro. That was basically OpenAI. So as long as you have a subscription from one of those services, I think you're going to be doing pretty well there. We didn't test like any other features of Grok. I'm just testing it in the way that I was testing it. I didn't want to like make a snake game. I didn't want to do these other types of like entertainment fun things, which are cool. But that's just kind of not what I'm doing right now, right? I mean, there's probably going to be some other content creator doing that. That's more fun and flashy, and I think that's really cool. And yeah, that is what it is as far as like that. We tried to basically make an MCP server, and then we handed that plan off to Claude Code, and we were able to kind of get that going, which was pretty fun. And Claude Code is pretty much a pretty good beast here. Do I want to run the server right now? Maybe. It's basically doing that. What else did we do here? We did quite a bit of stuff. We did some research on stocks. It was able to do that. We did some see if we can find some bug bounties on the web and stuff. And this is it doing its own web research and looking for these types of things. How good is it against the O3? I mean, I wouldn't say it's like super extra amazing. And I wouldn't say that any of this stuff is really novel, because when I did tell it to do web research here, or to tell it to look at like social media stuff, it didn't really look at social media, right? It just said, this is how you can do it in a tool call or something like that. So it's like, this is Grok 4, right? So this is Grok 4 with the heavy involved, with the extra agents. And it's not really giving me anything more than I wouldn't get anything else, right? Even if I tell it to generate code, I think it's literally just finding websites and copying and pasting the code and claiming that it wrote its code here, to be honest, because these are like from different articles that are written that are publicly available. I bet you if I copy and paste this code into Google, it's going to show me where this code lives. Because one of the strengths of the Grok model is its ability to do web research and find an answer. So if it finds an answer on the web, it's going to go ahead and attach itself to that answer and then use that as the results. One of the reasons why this model scored really high on a lot of these benchmarks is because these answers are publicly available via a web search. So when you give this model that type of tool, it's really good, because if that is the source of truth and that's what you would do to search the web, you want a model to do that. And it's actually really good at doing that. For a lot of these problems that are out there, it is available on the web. It can grab the answer and give that to you right away. And so, that's actually a really good first step. And as far as like it being novel and coming up with something new and kind of interesting, I mean, it's not worth the bunch of extra money here. So based on the context of your subscription to Grok for Heavy, this is, what is this? Oh my God. Oh, sorry. I can't right now. I'm having a moment with my my AI subscriptions right now. And it's not hot. The only thing that's been hot right now is Cloud Force on it. So yeah. All right, man. This is quite an extensive stream, and we've covered quite a bit of things. And like I said, I want to give a shout outs to all my members and people who have been able to join to help support. If you wanted to go ahead and do that and get access to the Discord as well, make sure you check out at Fernando1337 on YouTube. If you hit that little join button, you have to do this through the web. Once you do that, my first 100 members are going to get in for that $6.99 a month. So you get access to the Discord and get to cook with other people. And from there, what it's going to end up happening is that, like, once you get in, you're supporting me, and this is my journey to use AI to build freedom. And I'm basically building my apps and using these as an entrepreneur and sharing back with you in real time how I'm looking at these models and testing them. It's not going to be the fanciest and trying to do these types of things, because while that information is useful, this is not what this channel is all about. I'm trying to use these AI models to code with me, to come up with novel ideas, to do research, to do real world stuff. And those types of things aren't really benchmarked. And so if you're seeing me struggle with them with a similar workflow, or if you have any input and you remember, definitely let me know, and I'll share the results back, so that way you can see for yourself whether it's going to be worth paying or not for this type of model, right? So in order to do that, my members get access to do these types of things first. These are really expensive systems, and sometimes they're not really worth shelling out all that money. So do I make websites? Learning to do that. And I've made some websites quite a bit with and apps using these types of things. But my primary function right now is just try to make web apps. So if you wanted to support me as well, if you're a content creator and you want to check out Ray Transcribes, feel free to go ahead and do that right now. RayTranscribes.com. Basically, you can upload your videos and start captioning your videos right away. So you can take like a 2 to 3 hour live stream and try to transcribe that thing super duper fast using the best AI models that are out there. And I'm continually working to improve and add features. So for members who get in today, if you're able to get in, I have a little bit of a beta section. So I'm going to be adding YouTube link support, timestamps, and other features. And I have a bunch of bug fixes that are coming in as well. So this is the goal, is to start to automate a lot of my YouTube content creator flow. And I discovered that, you can use these types of transcripts to kind of start training for searches and various things, because a lot of your transcripts are very rich in knowledge. And so why sleep on that? Get them transcribed, start here as a first step, and then I'm going to be building other features out. I'm using Convex for my database. I like them so much because of the new AI components that are in there. We're going to be able to RAG search in real time. As you add transcripts and other things, you're able to search in real time, which is really crazy, and re-rank and do all this cool stuff with it, generate a bunch of things. So I'm really excited to keep sharing more content for you, by the way. So this would be really, really cool. So quick questions. Do you include the transcripts from your live streams in the Discord too? I should probably do that. I could do that if you want me to. Lisa, since you're a member, just feel free to send me a message. I have a post if you haven't got into the Discord yet, or just ping me in the Discord. I'd be happy to figure something out and do that. I was also thinking about putting up standing up a custom blog post. So one of the things that no one has requested yet, but I want to add as a feature for myself on this list, is to push this into Notion. I do a lot of work in Notion. So if I can go and select YouTube videos or different things that I want to grab those transcripts from my live streams, put them into Notion as far as my workspace, and kind of work with that. Or build other tools that can kind of help me do these types of things. So that'll be really, really cool. After every live stream, by the way, if you're watching this right now and you want to come back later on, I will have the timestamps for this entire live stream, so you can go back to those different parts of the sections and rewatch whatever is interesting to you. I will also have, I think that's kind of one of the biggest things that I have there as well. So yeah. Thanks, this is great. Love chatting with transcripts using AI. Saves me from having to scrape YouTube. Yeah, I think I might have a chat with transcripts feature that I probably add in. Lisa, if you send me a DM, I will also get you a coupon code. I think I had a coupon code that I had last time on my live stream. I just can't find it right now. But you know what I'm going to go ahead and do is search live on YouTube right now. And if I go to my name, basically, hey, Ray Fernando's live. This is really cool. I'm going to go to my previous YouTube video because I am pretty sure I dropped one of the coupon codes in there for my previous live streams. And so if I go to live right now and I go to this last one, I think it was in fixing the bugs, but in here, 15 off. Yes. So the coupon code, if you want to go to Ray Transcribes, drop it right now. It's called Ray VIP 20. I'll put this in the chat. So this will basically get you $20 off of Ray Transcribes for the first 20 people. So if you go to Ray Transcribes and if you go to the bottom and you select any plan, basically what I'm allowing you to do is that you can start with this plan. If you do a yearly plan and you can get $20 off the yearly plan. It's $20 anything that you want, right? So if you do a monthly, you join the beta club. You just type in basically Ray VIP 20 at the checkout. There's a little section for the coupon code. We debugged this live a couple of days ago, and I was able to add that coupon code in. So Ray VIP 20 will get you $20 off any of the plans. And it's just a one-time $20 off, so that way you can even try it for a month and start using it. And please give me feedback, because I'm going to keep adding features in. And if the feature isn't up here, just let me know, and we'll get to try it out together. So on that note, I actually need to head out to my doctor's appointment really soon. And then afterwards, this evening, after my doctor's appointment, I'm going to have another live stream this evening talking to a founder of an AI app. And it's really, really cool. So it's a mental health AI app. And I think you guys would be really interested. This founder is based in Hawaii, and their team, I think, this founder that I'm speaking with used to, I think, be one of the founders of Calm as well. And so it's going to be a really, really cool show. This guy has a lot of experience in AI, machine learning, and we actually have a monthly podcast that we talk about. But I think he's going to share a lot of insights as far as a builder. If you're using ChatGPT for your mental health support, you may actually want to consider checking out their app as well that this guy has coming up. It's going to be full of a lot of really good sauce, so definitely tune in. I think that's going to be later today in a couple of hours. And so I'm in Pacific time, so if you want to check out that live stream with his name is Tyler, it's going to be at 4:30 today. It's currently 12:11. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on, a little bit busy schedule. I need to get going, and I will see you guys very shortly. Peace out, y'all.